After waking up, he found himself to be the last immortal cultivator. The world had also transformed from a cultivation world into a magic world. It turns out that 1,000 years ago, the immortal cultivation realm and the demon realm erupted into an immortal demon war. All the immortal cultivators were slaughtered to the last. And due to the influence of the demonic beast's aura, the world underwent a great transformation. The history of cultivation was also forgotten in the river of time, replaced by the rise of many other races. What serpent race elves? And succubi among others. While men may be immortal cultivators, without money in this world, they cannot take a single step. He had no choice but to take on the daily commissions. At that moment, Zhong Tianshun hummed a little tune as he arrived at Lostwood. However, he discovered that the other three had already beaten him to it. One of them, in particular, was a D-class mage from the Order of the Holy Cross. Her two subordinates, seeing that Zhong Tianshun did not appear to be combat personnel, quickly urged him to leave, warning that it was dangerous here as there were demonic beasts attacking people. However, he took out the commission document and stated, "I am here to exterminate the demonic beasts." Upon hearing this, one of the men took out a telekinesis detector. After testing, it was discovered that Zhong Tianshun's telekinesis point was actually 0. Another person laughed upon seeing this. Even ordinary people have a telekinesis level of 5. Zhong Tianshun was dumbfounded. What on earth is telekinesis? I've eliminated many demonic beasts without using telekinesis. Hearing this, the two burst into laughter. You don't even know what telekinesis is, yet you claim to have hunted demonic beasts? At this moment, Catherine explained to him that telekinesis is a special ability used to combat demonic beasts. Anyone capable of activating telekinesis can unleash immense power. And based on the strength of telekinesis, humans are classified into several levels: S, A, B, C, D, and E. Among them, Warrior said, "Miss Catherine, as a D-class mage, can easily handle the demonic beasts here. You should leave quickly." Zhong Tianshun, however, ignored the warrior's words and instantly moved in front of him. He casually threw an internationally friendly gesture at the other person, which infuriated the warrior, who wanted to say something more. But he was interrupted by Catherine, who said, all right. If he insists on going, we'll take him with us. There are only tier 1 demonic beasts here, so bringing along someone with 0 telekinesis won't be a problem." A moment later, Catherine unleashed an upstream torrent. She then cleared out the demonic beasts in the forest. The two underlings immediately started flattering her. Just as the three were feeling smug, Zhong Tianshun interrupted them. "Don't celebrate too soon. Look over here." Then everyone looked toward the ruins ahead. "There's more inside," he said, before the group entered the ruins. Seeing that the two warriors were still acting a bit careless, Zhong Tianshun reminded them to be careful, as something felt off about the place. Catherine also sensed that something was wrong. She had a vague, uneasy premonition in her heart. At that very moment, she inadvertently glanced to the side. She then discovered a massive goblin sitting amidst the ruins. She quickly called out to everyone, pointing at the goblin that stood like a small mountain before them. Everyone was utterly astonished, as none of them had ever seen such a massive goblin in their entire lives. At that moment, one of the warriors walked straight toward the goblin. He approached it, looked at its face, and found it strangely familiar. Then, on a mischievous impulse, he poked the goblin. He noticed that it showed no reaction at all. He turned around excitedly and said to Catherine, "This seems to be the corpse of a demonic beast. We've struck it rich." At that moment, the goblin suddenly opened its blood-red eyes. Seeing this, Zhong Tianshun quickly shouted, "Be careful!" But it was too late. A flash of sword light swept by. The warrior's arm was directly severed. At this moment, the goblin was emanating an intense sense of pressure all over its body. In the next second, the goblin chieftain let out a roar, and the two companions were instantly frightened into unconsciousness. Seeing this, Catherine immediately instructed Zhong Tianshun not to act rashly, saying, "I will protect you." Then, she unleashed her most powerful arcane magic, aiming to decide the outcome with a single strike. A massive water shark emerged from the arcane formation and charged straight toward the goblin chieftain. But the shark was shattered with a single slap from the chieftain. Only then did Catherine realize that the chieftain before her was actually a tier 3 demonic beast. Before she could think further, the chieftain threw a punch at her. Seeing this, Catherine quickly cast the defensive spell, Water Barrier. With a loud boom, the entire water barrier was blasted away. After the water barrier dissipated, Catherine clutched her chest, already severely injured. She looked at the two warriors who had already passed out. Catherine was utterly despairing at this moment. She watched as the chieftain raised his sword and charged toward her. She closed her eyes as if resigning to her fate. With a swift whoosh, the chieftain swung his sword. Yet, after waiting for what felt like an eternity, she realized she hadn't died. She opened her eyes and saw the fatal strike, but it was blocked by Zhong Tianshun with just 2 fingers. No matter how hard the chieftain tried, the great sword remained immovable. Catherine was dumbstruck at the sight. "Hey, can you still move? If you can move, step back a bit. I'm about to make a move and I don't want you to get caught in it." Reacting quickly, Catherine hurriedly hid behind a large tree in the distance. At this moment, Zhong Tianshun looked up at the chieftain and said, "Hey big guy, have you ever tried the taste of being struck by lightning?" With that, his fingers were surrounded by crackling lightning. Simultaneously, the sky instantly darkened with thick clouds, accompanied by flashes of lightning and rumbles of thunder. As Zhong Tianshun let out a loud shout, "Thunder Summoner!" a massive pillar of lightning descended from the sky. Instantly it struck the chieftain. Catherine was utterly shocked at the sight. He could actually summon lightning from the sky. After the dark clouds dispersed, Zhong Tianshun told her it was safe now and to come out. She looked at the charred chieftain. Catherine was stunned for a long time. A single lightning strike had instantly killed the Tier 3 demonic beast. It has been a long time since such a talented mage appeared in our Pharaoh city. Not long after, as the sky was just beginning to lighten, the two warriors who had fainted woke up. Catherine immediately told them what had happened. After finishing the story, the group looked at Zhong Tianshun, who was meditating. Her cheeks flushed slightly, clearly harboring a secret affection. The other two immediately approached Zhong Tianshun, expressing their sincere gratitude to him while inquiring about the distribution of the spoils. However, they heard Zhong Tianshun say with an indifferent expression, "I want all of it." The two of them became anxious upon hearing this and said, "We've worked hard all night too. Could you at least share a little with us?" Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun gave each of them a toenail clipping from a Tier 1 demonic beast. After distributing the spoils, Zhong Tianshun bid farewell to the group while carrying a massive bundle on his back. Catherine wanted to persuade him to stay but was told that he needed to go to the village to collect his reward. She could only watch him walk away with reluctance. This guy is so stingy. He didn't take the most valuable one with him. Last night, that Tier 3 demonic beast was the Goblin Chieftain on the Demon Hunter Association's bounty list. Although their voices were very soft, Zhong Tianshun, who hadn't gone far, still heard them clearly. Upon hearing that he could receive a large reward just by bringing the body back to Pharaoh City, he stopped in his tracks, turned around with gleaming eyes and asked, "That thing can be exchanged for money?" Zhong Tianshun and his group arrived in Pharaoh City. They exchanged the Goblin Chieftain's corpse for 1,300 spirit coins. Zhong Tianshun was overjoyed to see this, as the spirit coins here were the same as the spiritual stones he had used before. He turned around and saw the two warriors on the verge of tears. Zhong Tianshun, seeing their pitiful state, directly gave them 30 spirit coins to go home and recuperate properly. Catherine, seeing this, hurriedly chased after them. In her urgency, she grabbed Zhong Tianshun's hand. With slightly flushed cheeks, she said, "Your name is?" "My name is Zhong Tianshun." The scene shifts to a hotel in Pharaoh City. Zhong Tianshun is leisurely soaking in the hot spring. He then looks at the jade pendant in his hand. "This thing was struck by my heavenly thunder conduit and remained completely unscathed. It's even emitting a faint spiritual power. Definitely a treasure. I'll keep it for now." Before long, he actually falls asleep in the hot spring. Suddenly, the pendant around his neck begins to glow. The next second, a pair of fox ears emerged from the water, followed by a Kyubi no Kitsune appearing on the surface. She murmured to herself, 5,000 years, I'm finally out. Is he the one who woke me up?" She sensed the immense spiritual power emanating from him. Baiqing couldn't help but lick her lips, never expecting to encounter such a miraculous opportunity. "In that case, I won't hold back then." After saying that, she leaned in and kissed him. Feeling the moist and soft touch, along with the continuous flow of spiritual power entering her body, this almost caused her to lose her mental composure. At that moment, Zhong Tianshun opened his eyes and asked, "Who are you?" This startled Bai Qing, causing him to instantly retreat 2 meters away. She said with a resentful look, "It was you who woke me up, didn't you know?" Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun suddenly realized, "So you are the carved fox jade pendant." Bai Qing only then noticed how strikingly handsome the man before her was, and she immediately wanted to test his abilities. She then released a cloud of pink smoke. The next second, 2 beautiful women emerged from the smoke, ready to join Zhong Tianshun for a bath. Before he could refuse, the 2 beauties pressed close to him, whispering a stream of flirtatious words. Bai Qing, standing nearby, watched the scene and let out a sigh. If even this person cannot withstand my enchanting art, then there is no one in this world who can help me. With a splash, Zhong Tianshun stood up from the water. "Are you done playing?" Bai Qing stared blankly at the man standing before her, completely unclothed. "What is this dazzling and scorching light?" The next second, 2 streams of blood shot out from his nose. A moment later, Zhong Tianshun had already guessed her identity. "You must be some kind of artifact spirit, right?" And Bai Qing, seeing that she had been exposed, had no choice but to confess the truth. It turns out that she was originally an ancient spiritual treasure, the celestial fox pendant. After cultivating for 1,000 years, she finally transformed into human form. However, she fell into a deep slumber due to being affected by the aura of a demonic beast. She thought she would remain in eternal slumber, but she was awakened by the spiritual power within Zhong Tianshun's body. Then she explained that the enchanting art just now was merely a necessary test, all because your body contains a vast amount of spiritual power. "You are an immortal cultivator, aren't you?" After receiving confirmation from Zhong Tianshun, Bai Qing's expression turned grave. "As far as I know, there should be no immortal cultivators left in this world. Why were you able to survive and appear here after 1,000 years? I can no longer clearly remember the events of the past." After discovering Zhong Tianshun's amnesia, Bai Qing quickly comforted him, saying not to be too upset and that the lost memories would surely return. "You just used magic to tempt me, but actually you were testing the strength of my spiritual power, weren't you? As an artifact spirit, without the assistance of a cultivator master's spiritual power, it's impossible to break through to the next stage, right?" Hearing this, Bai Qing said despondently, "It's more than that. In this world filled with demonic energy, without the nourishment of spiritual power, I will perish before long." Bai Qing looked at Zhong Tianshun with a serious expression. "Can I follow you? I can sense the ancient divine artifact in this world filled with demonic energy." And Zhong Tianshun agreed without a second thought. Bai Qing, on the other hand, was caught off guard. "You agreed just like that? I actually need to absorb your spiritual power to cultivate. You didn't make any demands like offering your body in exchange." This was rejected by Zhong Tianshun because, given his cultivation level as a celestial sovereign, such a small amount of spiritual power meant nothing to him. The next day, the 2 of them were walking on the street. Suddenly, Bai Qing sensed the aura of an ancient divine artifact nearby. Then she told Zhong Tianshun that there was an ancient divine artifact among the crowd ahead. So the 2 of them held hands and squeezed through the noisy crowd. The 2 of them saw an ancient sword inserted on the platform in front of them. From the surrounding conversations, they learned that the trial of the 4 noble houses would take place in a few days. Only those who pass the trial are qualified to draw the sword from its place. And this sword is said to be the legendary hero's blade left behind from ancient times, dating back several thousand years. It has been embedded in the giant rock since its very first appearance. Only a true hero can pull this sword from the stone, yet over the centuries, no one has ever managed to draw it. At this moment, Bai Qing noticed Zhong Tianshun. He was staring blankly at the sword on the stage, so she asked him what was wrong. But then Zhong Tianshun said with a serious expression, "This sword, I feel like I've seen it somewhere before." It turns out that 5,000 years ago, this sword was once the treasure of Sword Forging Valley, capable of cutting through hair with a mere blow, incredibly sharp. If it were to meet a worthy master, it could even manifest the azure long sword spirit to protect its owner. Later, this sword was gifted to Zhong Tianshun by Sword Forging Valley. And he gave this sword a resounding name, Wandering Long. I never expected that after the immortal demon war, it would end up here. Then he stepped forward and was about to pull out the Wandering Long. However, he was blocked by the guard with a sword. This is the sacred sword of Pharaoh City. Unauthorized personnel are not allowed to approach. Upon hearing this, Bai Qing explained, "Didn't you say only the true warrior can pull out this sword? He is. The two guards burst into laughter as if they had heard the biggest joke. Are you out of your minds? This sword isn't something just anyone can pull out. It turns out that those who wish to draw the sword must pass the trial of the brave, and to even participate in the trial, one must first obtain a recommendation from the 4 noble houses. May I ask, sir, which family of Pharaoh City do you belong to? If you are not a member of the 4 noble houses, you are not qualified to participate in the trial. If you are not from the 4 noble houses, what can you possibly do to me? Upon hearing this, the guard assumed a fighting stance. Then I have no choice but to escort you out. At that moment a shout of "Stop!" interrupted their movements. He is an honored guest of House Steve. How dare any of you show him disrespect? The 2 guards, upon recognizing the newcomer, hurriedly apologized in a fluster. At this moment Catherine shyly said, Zhong Tianshun, if you want to pull the holy sword, you must first pass the trial of the brave. I'm really sorry, but this is a rule that has been upheld for 1,000 years, and I cannot change it. Just as Zhong Tianshun was about to force his way through, Bai Qing told him, this trial is quite interesting. Anyway, no one can take your sword, so why don't we just follow the local customs this once? At this moment Catherine said, I can help you write the recommendation letter for the 4 noble houses. Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun's first reaction was, does it cost money? After learning it was free, he pointed at Bai Qing and said, write one for her too, we're together. It was then that Catherine realized Bai Qing was incredibly beautiful and cute, and they were even wearing similar outfits. Could they be that kind of couple? This is a world full of magic. And the man, just because he had a nap, then he became the last immortal cultivator in the world. Now, even to retrieve his own sword, he must participate in the trial of the brave. At this moment, a large number of trial participants have gathered inside Ghost Valley. The trial is presided over by an intermediate priest from the Order of the Holy Cross. Seeing that all trial participants had arrived, she began to announce the rules of the champion's trial. This trial requires all participants to venture deep into Ghost Valley and retrieve 3 demon cores that were placed in advance by the order. The demon core is a priceless treasure of the demonic beasts, possessing immense value. We have placed these 3 demon cores on Tier 3 demonic beasts. Those who retrieve the demon core and return here by 12 p.m. tomorrow will pass the trial. Upon hearing this, everyone began to murmur. With only 3 demon cores available, it meant only 3 people could pass. That's way too strict. At that moment, Carl from House Onassis stepped forward and said, this level of difficulty is nothing, just a piece of cake. Upon hearing this, Meyer from House DuPont mocked him, don't celebrate too soon. If you fail, it will bring shame to your family. The onlookers watched the 2 opponents in a heated confrontation and discussed among themselves, believing that House DuPont, as the largest family in Pharaoh City, would surely pass the trial and might even manage to draw the hero's sword. And Carl, upon hearing these words, became extremely furious. This bastard is indeed my biggest competitor, but obtaining the demon core is just the beginning. Only those who return here alive can truly be considered to have passed the trial. Watching Carl Zhong Tianshun walk past, he noticed a thick aura of killing intent emanating from him. It was then that he remembered. This was the person Catherine had warned him to be especially cautious of. At this moment, Carl was also sizing up Zhong Tianshun. Humph, how Steve's head must be fried. Sending an ordinary person with 0 telekinesis. They can be completely ignored. This time, I'm going to make a name for myself in Pharaoh City. At that very moment, Male shouted loudly, the trial begins. Everyone scrambled to rush into Ghost Valley. Shortly after entering, everyone noticed that there were actually branching paths inside Ghost Valley. The entrance on the left was overgrown with thorns, while the middle one emitted a heavy demonic energy, and the rightmost opening faintly let through a glimmer of light. So Carl decisively chose the third opening. Meyer, standing nearby, had the same thought. Some people also believe that although the left path is overgrown with thorns, there are no demonic beasts there, making it the safest option. Meanwhile, outside Ghost Valley, Male asked Catherine in confusion, why would you recommend an ordinary person with 0 telekinesis to participate in the trial? Won't choosing him tarnish your family's reputation? But Catherine replied, I'm not doing this for the family. I just want to fulfill his wish. Besides, Zhong Tianshun is no ordinary person. I believe he will definitely pass the trial. The scene shifts to Bai Qing, who stands before a fork in the road, uncertain which path to choose. Yet, Zhong Tianshun began playing the immortal points the way game, where the direction the fallen branch pointed would determine which cave entrance to choose. There was a sudden snap sound. The branch fell pointing towards the cave entrance overflowing with demonic energy. Bai Qing felt utterly uneasy. This path looked a bit eerie. As soon as the two of them stepped inside, a flock of crows flew past. This frightened Bai Qing, who quickly grabbed Zhong Tianshun's arm and asked him, "Did you hear something? There's an evil aura here that's making my chest feel tight." And Zhong Tianshun, looking at the two soft things pressed tightly against his arm, couldn't help but think to himself, "That's probably because you're pressing your chest against me too tightly." At that moment, a woman's crying suddenly came from not far away. The two of them followed the direction of the sound and looked over. They saw a woman floating in midair with her feet off the ground, eerily drifting. This man, as the strongest celestial sovereign of his time, his greatest hobby is undressing Spooky. Every Spooky he touches ends up completely stripped. He doesn't even spare the maid who has been dead for 500 years. Just now, the two were blocked by a girl floating in midair. Bai Qing could tell at a glance that the girl in front was not human. But Zhong Tianshun didn't believe it. In his eyes, this was clearly a lost young girl. So he stepped forward and greeted her. But when the girl turned around, she was a terrifying-looking Spooky. Zhong Tianshun froze for a few seconds. He punched her and sent her to meet the king of hell. Bai Qing complained a bit. "Why do we have to take this path full of ghosts and monsters?" But Zhong Tianshun said nonchalantly, "Isn't Spooky quite nice? Come help me take her clothes off." Upon hearing this, Bai Qing was stunned. She looked up and down at Spooky on the ground. With a perfect hourglass figure, could it be that he wants to take advantage of the moment to do something? A moment later, hearing Zhong Tianshun say, "I'm done," Bai Qing was somewhat surprised. So fast. She turned her head only to find Zhong Tianshun holding onto the female ghost's clothes, saying, "This is silk fabric. Even though it's torn, if we gather a large amount, it could still fetch a good price." Before long, the two of them hid behind a large tree. The two of them noticed another Spooky appearing up ahead. He immediately went up to greet it, just as the Spooky thought it could have a full meal tonight. But then saw the black and white guardians impersonated by Zhong Tianshun. Spooky was so frightened that he immediately fell to his knees, trembling uncontrollably. Seeing this, Zhong Tianshun revealed a wicked smile. That night became the nightmare of Ghost Valley. Wherever the two went, every Spooky was wiped out without a trace. Meanwhile, inside the thorn-covered cave entrance on the left, a group of people was exploring. From their casual conversation, it was learned that in this valley, people often go missing, and by the time they are found, they have turned into zombies. As we were speaking, a hand suddenly emerged from the ground, followed by one zombie after another with blood-red eyes crawling out from beneath the earth. At this moment, they realized that these zombies were actually using the underground to avoid the thorns. But it was already too late. The leading zombie lunged forward directly. On the other side, Zhong Tianshun was humming a tune as if he were on a leisurely outing, while Bai Qing followed closely behind him. Although this person is quite stingy and tends to act recklessly, being with him gives a strong sense of security. Even in such a terrifying forest, I no longer feel afraid. At that very moment, they were blocked by a figure. The figure turned out to be a Tier 3 demonic beast, the Haunting Butler. How unusual. Someone actually managed to reach the depths of Ghost Valley. However, you two are so scrawny, it seems you won't be enough to fill my stomach. With a sharp snap, Zhong Tianshun put down his bundle. I can't say if it'll fill you up, but your clothes are definitely not safe. Upon hearing this, Haunting Butler froze in place. What do you mean by saying my clothes are not safe? Zhong Tianshun looked at me with an expression that said, "Idiot. It's the literal meaning. Don't you even understand that?" That sentence completely infuriated Haunting Butler. You, a mere human, dare to mock me? Seems you've grown tired of living. Immediately, a red arcane formation materialized behind her. Tear them apart, Scarlet Phantom. Countless bats surged out from the arcane formation. Seeing this, Zhong Tianshun's arms were enveloped in lightning. Just a few bats, you're really underestimating me. Ethereal blue foxfire suddenly swept past Zhong Tianshun. It charged straight into the swarm of bats, and upon contact, the bats were instantly incinerated into wisps of ash. TCH, so it's just a mage after all. Seeing this, she felt a bit smug. Who would have thought that even after sleeping for so many years, my skill in manipulating foxfire is still this strong? Zhong Tianshun, standing nearby, looked at her and said, "Oh, not bad. Didn't expect you to be so skilled. Then I'll leave this female ghost to you." Upon hearing this, Bai Qing backed off, saying, "You handle it. I'll just help you clear out the bats." Upon witnessing this scene, the haunting butler was furious. "How dare these two ignore me? I am the strongest boss of Ghost Valley." In an instant, Zhong Tianshun leaped forward with a swift movement. He lunged toward the woman's chest with a swift grab. A maid who had been single for 500 years had never encountered such a situation before. She covered her chest and stepped back 5 meters. "What kind of perverted monster are you? Daring to lay a hand on my chest? I'm a ghost, you know." Zhong Tianshun said calmly, "Don't misunderstand, I'm not targeting your chest. It's just that your clothes look very valuable. So before I start hitting you, I'm going to strip off your clothes first. Let me show you what 5,000 years of singlehood speed looks like." Countless afterimages of arms reached out toward the maid. Even Bai Qing, standing nearby, couldn't discern the speed of his movements. No one would have ever imagined that the strongest boss of Ghost Valley would come to such a day. In just a split second, the maid outfit was stripped off completely and perfectly intact. And along with it came a gleaming demon core. Seeing that the demon core had been obtained, Bai Qing suggested that we head back the way we came. However, this suggestion was rejected by Zhong Tianshun. There are still many spirits in Ghost Valley, and we cannot let a single one escape. Meanwhile, on the other side of Ghost Valley, Meyer also went through great hardships and finally defeated a Tier 3 demonic beast. He looked at the glowing demon core in his hand and thought, a Tier 3 demonic beast isn't that impressive after all. Suddenly, a voice came from behind. "I never expected you to actually defeat a Tier 3 demonic beast." Meyer turned around and realized the person was none other than Carl. He immediately became wary and asked him, "Why are you following me? Are you trying to kill me and steal the treasure?" However, he saw that Carl was also holding a demon core in his hand and said, "Stealing treasure? There's no need for that." Meyer finally understood at that moment. He immediately assumed a fighting stance. "If it's not about seizing the treasure, then they must be here to kill me." Upon seeing this, Carl didn't say a word, only revealing a sinister smile. The battle between the two was on the verge of breaking out. Meyer took the initiative, raising his longsword and slashing forward. And Carl was not to be outdone, drawing his dagger to block. Both sides engaged in a fierce battle. "To think you can fight me to a draw, Carl. You've gotten stronger. But our telekinesis is both at C rank, you can't kill me on your own." Hearing this, Carl revealed a confident smile. "What makes you think I'm alone?" With a swift whoosh, a hidden arrow shot through the air. The hidden arrow struck Meyer's neck directly. Feeling the toxin spread instantly, Meyer suddenly realized the danger. The archer, seeing him lose the ability to resist, finally emerged from the shadows. It was none other than John from House Walton. It turned out he had allied with Carl in order to obtain the demon core. "You two despicable scoundrels, do you know the consequences of offending House DuPont?" As soon as he finished speaking, Carl held a dagger to his neck. He revealed a sinister and terrifying smile. "Don't worry, no matter what happens in Ghost Valley, the outside world will never know." Then, with a single slash, he ended his life. Kai cautiously reminded Carl John, who was desecrating the corpse, that it was time to fulfill the agreement. Upon hearing this, Carl smiled faintly. "That's true, but I also said that no matter what happens in Ghost Valley, the outside world will never know." After saying this, before John could even react, he ended his life with a single slash. How could I possibly let someone who knows my weakness live? Deep within Ghost Valley at this moment, a Tier 4 demonic beast gargoyle is snoring loudly on the pillar. Zhong Tianshun and the other person also happened to wander here. Bai Qing sensed that the gargoyle before them was extremely powerful and immediately suggested, "Before it wakes up, let's take a detour." However, Zhong Tianshun rejected the idea, saying, "In this world, credibility is everything. We promise to eliminate all the demonic beasts in the valley, so not a single one can be spared." At this moment, the gargoyle also spotted them. "Humans, you dare not flee at the sight of me? Is it because your telekinesis is too low to sense my terror?" And Zhong Tianshun was staring straight at the emerald on the gargoyle's forehead. He chuckled and said, "What nonsense are you talking? Who would run away at the sight of money?" Upon hearing this, Gargoyle looked completely baffled and asked, "What do you mean?" The next second, Zhong Tianshun leaped to his feet. He threw an uppercut at the gargoyle. He sent it flying hundreds of meters away. The gargoyle lying on the ground looked incredulous. What the hell? He sent me flying without even using telekinesis? That's absolutely ridiculous. Could it be that he knows his own talent isn't enough? So he took a different path, pushing his physical body to its absolute limit, which is why he was able to deliver such a heavy blow. At that moment, Zhong Tianshun caught up and took a punch from me without being knocked out. You're quite tough, huh? Upon hearing this, Gargoyle revealed a ferocious grin. You mere human, ignorant of your own limits. I've already seen through your true nature. Let me show you my absolute defense stone gargoyle form. In this form, my entire body is encased in incredibly hard granite. Even the most powerful punches would shatter the attacker's hand upon impact. Just as it was secretly gloating, a fist the size of a sandbag struck its face once again. The so-called absolute defense was completely shattered. And the gargoyle was sent flying over 10 meters away once more. At this moment, Bai Qing ran over with the spoils and asked if he was okay. Zhong Tianshun said it was nothing, just that the head was a bit hard and somewhat in the way. As soon as the words fell, the surrounding demonic energy suddenly surged. Bai Qing noticed that all the demonic energy was converging toward the gargoyle, and immediately warned Zhong Tianshun to be careful. Zhong Tianshun replied, Got it. When the fight starts later, make sure to keep an eye on the items in the bag. I'm counting on selling them for money. At this moment, Gargoyle had already completed his second stage transformation. He said arrogantly, You are indeed different from the rest. But thanks to you I got to stretch my muscles. I haven't been this excited in a long time. You can't bear the consequences of angering me. After saying this, he forcefully plunged his weapon into the ground. Centered on itself, countless demonic energies radiated outward in all directions. Soon enveloped Zhong Tianshun and the other person. Looking at the black spots growing on his body, Zhong Tianshun realized that this black mist was poisonous. And Gargoyle said with a smug expression, My demonic energy not only has the effects of intimidation and repulsion, but can also inflict a poison state on enemies during battle. You're finished. Meanwhile at Ghost Valley, all the trial takers were urgently summoned back. Male looked at the noisy crowd and breathed a sigh of relief. The situation isn't too serious yet. Most of the participants have been called back. Catherine, however, looked worried. Zhong Tianshun and Bai Qing haven't come out yet. She was originally a Yaoguai fox who had cultivated for 1,000 years. Yet now she had forcefully kissed a man. Just to help him detoxify. It turns out that just moments ago, Zhong Tianshun and the other finally encountered the final boss inside Ghost Valley. Tier 4. Demonic Beast. Gargoyle. After being taught a lesson by Zhong Tianshun with 2 solid punches, Gargoyle realized he was no match for the enemy in front of him. So he secretly released poison. Seeing this, Zhong Tianshun asked Bai Qing beside him if she was afraid, but the response he got was, As long as I'm with you, I'm not afraid. Hearing this, Zhong Tianshun looked pleased. He summoned a golden orb. The next second, the orb transformed into a golden shield, protecting Bai Qing. This is my protective golden orb. It can block attacks and isolate toxic gas erosion. Bai Qing looked worried upon hearing this. If you give the orb to me, what will you do? But Zhong Tianshun replied, Don't worry about me. If the materials in the package get corroded by the toxic gas, they won't be sellable anymore. Upon hearing this, Bai Qing was speechless. So you really care more about money than your life, huh? Then Zhong Tianshun smirked playfully. This toxin accumulates over time. As long as I take him down in one move and immediately cast the heart purification incantation to detoxify, it'll be fine. Then Zhong Tianshun swung his arm, drawing talismans in the air while chanting incantations under his breath. Seeing this, the gargoyle was dumbfounded. What on earth is this guy waving around like a madman? Could it be that the toxic fumes have driven him insane? Meanwhile, Bai Qing was utterly shocked, because the incantation Zhong Tianshun was chanting seemed to be the legendary treasure of the ancient mythical sky sect. The 5 Thunders righteous technique is said to grant its wielder the power to command thunder and lightning, purify filth and vanquish demons. I never expected Zhong Tianshun to possess such formidable arts. And Zhong Tianshun at this moment also recited the end of the incantation, 5 Thunders righteous technique, shattering thunder. A small sphere encircled by thunderous light coalesced above his sword-pointing finger. Gargoyle sneered at the sight, mocking, Such a tiny magic sphere. I could pop it with just a fingernail. Let me show you what real magic looks like. A massive magic sphere began to coalesce from the weapon arcane. Immediately after, the enormous sphere was hurled forward. Perish! Zhong Tianshun smiled faintly and calmly pointed forward. This is not magic, but celestial art. The lightning ball pierced through the great magic sphere with an unstoppable force. Then, without losing momentum, it charged straight toward the gargoyle. Staring at the lightning ball right before its eyes, the gargoyle exclaimed in disbelief, "Impossible! Absolutely impossible! Am I about to be defeated? My master instructed me never to let anyone disturb her. My mission is not yet complete." With a shattering sound, the lightning ball exploded directly, filling an area of several thousand miles with dazzling flashes of lightning. Baiqing stared in disbelief at the scene. How could such a small lightning ball unleash such an astonishing force? At the same time, Mail, far outside the valley, felt the earth-shaking tremors. Her face couldn't help but change color. The force of this explosion far exceeded the range of a Tier 4 demonic beast, even surpassing that of a Tier 5 demonic beast. At this point, only by deploying an S-class or higher telekinetic can there be any hope of dealing with that demonic beast. After the explosion, it was clear that Zhong Tianshun had completely leveled the depths of Ghost Valley. And that Tier 4 demonic beast had been reduced to charcoal. Zhong Tianshun's heart ached at the sight. All of this was money. Fortunately, though, the demon core remained intact and uncovered. Baiqing quickly asked him how he is feeling now. But then Zhong Tianshun said, "No big deal. For a minor poison like this, I just need to sit down and meditate for a while. I can expel the toxin in no time." And Baiqing said somewhat awkwardly, "There's no need to go through all that trouble." Then, under Zhong Tianshun's puzzled gaze, she directly hugged him and kissed him. At this moment, Zhong Tianshun also realized that the deadly poison in his body was being drawn out by Baiqing. So he stopped resisting and began to fully enjoy this wonderful moment. After a moment, Baiqing let out a contented moan and finally said, "It's done." Zhong Tianshun looked at the other helplessly and said, "I can detoxify myself. If you absorb the poison from my body, I won't be able to save you." Baiqing wiped his lips and replied, "I am your artifact spirit, so it's only natural that I share your suffering. Besides, with the nourishment of your spiritual power, I will recover quickly." "Alright, as long as you're okay." Then Baiqing asked if he had heard of the mythical sky sect. Zhong Tianshun thought for a moment and said he hadn't. "Why do you ask?" "Nothing, let's head back. The trial is about to end." The scene shifts to outside Ghost Valley. Everyone stood on high alert, waiting for the terrifying demonic beast to appear. At that moment, two figures slowly emerged from the smoke. Mail immediately tensed up and ordered everyone to prepare for battle. After the smoke cleared, Zhong Tianshun stared blankly at the scene before him, utterly confused. "What's going on? Are you all here to welcome me? It seems we didn't exceed the time limit. The hero's trial should be passed smoothly." Everyone who witnessed this scene was instantly struck as if by lightning. At this moment, Mail was completely bewildered. Judging by the aura of the corpse, it was indeed a Tier 4 demonic beast. But I distinctly sensed an even more terrifying presence than that of a Tier 4. Could it be that person is him? Has he been hiding his telekinesis all along? Is he actually a super powerhouse? Seeing the two return safely, Catherine, who was nearby, also breathed a sigh of relief. But Carl was extremely jealous. That was a demonic beast that even I feared immensely. Why did it die at the hands of an insignificant ant? Something must have happened inside Ghost Valley that caused the death of that demonic beast. That insignificant ant must have just gotten lucky and taken advantage of the situation. How infuriating! With a loud thud, the demonic beast's corpse was slammed onto the ground. "Is there anyone from the Demon Hunter Association who can come and check how much this thing is worth?" Baiqing also patted the huge package and said, "And all the materials from the demonic beasts in Ghost Valley are here too." Mail looked at the two of them in disbelief. "We've already defeated a Tier 4 demonic beast, yet they still have the mind to loot materials from the minions." Not long after Zhong Tianshun and Baiqing left, another uninvited guest appeared deep within Ghost Valley. "He actually killed my mount. Could it be that I have to walk back?" At the same time, she was furious. Are the newcomers in Pharaoh City this powerful now? Suddenly, it seemed she had noticed something. With a single hand gesture, the scattered stones on the ground were drawn before her. Sensing the familiar aura emanating from the stones, her expression suddenly changed drastically. Spiritual power. This is the trace of an immortal cultivator's battle. At the same time, Zhong Tianshun and Baiqing also successfully returned to Pharaoh City and sold all the materials. Afterward, everyone returned to the Holy Sword Square together. At this moment, Mail announced that there were only 2 people who had obtained the demon core and passed the trial. They are young Master Carl from House Onassis and Zhong Tianshun, recommended by House Steve. He then asked the 2, "For the upcoming sword ceremony, which of you will go first?" Just then, Carl stepped forward angrily and said, "I'll go first." At the same time, he said with immense confidence, "If there's anyone who has the best chance of pulling out the holy sword, it must be me." Then he grasped the hilt with both hands and exclaimed, "Come forth, my holy sword." Yet no matter how hard he tried, the holy sword remained completely motionless. In the end, he had no choice but to give up. This thing simply couldn't be pulled out. The sword of the hero was nothing but a legend after all. The 2 women, seeing that the onlookers were not optimistic about Zhong Tianshun, both spoke up in his defense. But then they heard Zhong Tianshun say, "Don't mind them. I'm just going to retrieve what's mine." Hearing this, Carl, who was standing nearby, became even more displeased. "As if the holy sword is already in your pocket," he retorted. At this moment, Zhong Tianshun stood on the high platform, gazing at the gleaming holy sword before him. Suddenly, a voice echoed in his mind, "You have finally come. I have lost count of the years I've waited for you. Do you still remember our glorious days? I, with you alone and a single sword, fought wildly in the blood-red demon den for 3 days and 3 nights. And at the once-in-a-decade flying sword competition in the immortal cultivation realm, I helped you win the championship with an inertia drift. And together we fought our way through the under heaven sects 7 times, only to end up meditating by the waterfall at the back of their mountain. You in deep focus, me just showing off. I truly am a rare and invaluable partner on your way of the immortals." Hearing this, Zhong Tianshun suddenly had a bad feeling. Was this sword a bit too excited? "No matter what, I'm taking you home." With a sharp crack, the holy sword erupted in a dazzling light. The next instant, it had already been pulled out. "Welcome back, Wandering Long." The crowd below was instantly struck as if by lightning. That was the hero's sword, which no one had been able to pull out for thousands of years, and yet that kid actually managed to draw it. Who on earth is he? At that moment, accompanied by a dragon's roar, an azure dragon phantom materialized in the air. "Finally out of that damned rock. How does it feel to see my majestic form again, Tianshun?" Seeing Zhong Tianshun remain silent, it became even more narcissistic. "Why aren't you saying anything? Could it be that you're stunned by my peerless beauty?" Hearing this, Zhong Tianshun couldn't hold back any longer. "I don't remember any of those things you mentioned. Were you always this narcissistic before? And don't call me by that name." Witnessing this scene, everyone's worldview shattered, shortening our lifespans. The holy sword has turned into a bizarre creature. Wandering Long Sword let out a long sigh. "So you've already forgotten after all? It's a miracle you survived such a great battle. But even with amnesia, you still managed to find me. It shows that even 1,000 years cannot dim my radiance. That's how you were drawn to me, isn't it?" Zhong Tianshun couldn't hold it in any longer. "Change back right now." Catherine, who was standing nearby, quickly ran over. Although she didn't understand why the holy sword had turned into that form, she wanted to be the first to congratulate him. Then she said shyly, "Congratulations, Zhong Tianshun. I always believed you could do it. Now you are truly the worthy hero of Pharaoh City." Zhong Tianshun glanced back at her. "Oh, it's Catherine. I still need to thank you for writing that recommendation letter for me." Hearing this, Catherine shyly replied, "It was the least I could do." Meanwhile, she was secretly thrilled, thinking, "I'm so happy. I actually got thanked by Zhong Tianshun." Just then, a figure flashed by in an instant. The next second, Baiqing excitedly gave Zhong Tianshun a boob face. Catherine, seeing them in such an intimate pose, was completely heartbroken. At that moment, Baiqing hugged Zhong Tianshun, twisting excitedly back and forth, and said, "I knew I hadn't chosen the wrong person. You're just too amazing." Completely unaware that Zhong Tianshun was about to be smothered by her boob face. The pink-haired failure, Catherine, was filled with regret at that moment, thinking, "If only I had been a bit more proactive, then Zhong Tianshun would be holding me instead." She was originally a Yaoguai fox who had cultivated for 1,000 years. She actually forced a man to do a boob face in public, simply because the man was her master. He actually drew the legendary sword of the hero. Meanwhile, the pink-haired loser Catherine was filled with regret for not being proactive enough. At that moment, Male broke the awkward atmosphere and said, Zhong Tianshun, may I take a closer look at the holy sword in your hand? Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun said cautiously, you can look but please don't damage it. This sword is a bit heavy so make sure you hold it steady, he said as he handed the sword over. As soon as the wandering long sword was in hand, Male was astonished to find the sword unbelievably heavy. The wandering long sword slipped from his grasp and crashed to the ground, creating a huge crater. Seeing this, Male couldn't help but sigh. It seems this sword has acknowledged you as its master. Even though it's been drawn, no one else can wield it. And Bai Qing knew perfectly well. This sword was a first-class spiritual treasure from ancient times, which could only be wielded by channeling the spiritual power of an immortal cultivator. Not only that sword, but many artifacts left behind after the immortal demon war are still scattered across the world, lying dormant. And it seems only Zhong Tianshun can activate them. And our Zhong Tianshun was examining the wandering long sword, saying to Male, the blade is a bit dirty. How about you compensate me with some cleaning fees to settle this? Upon hearing this, Male looked utterly incredulous. Didn't you give it to me dirty in the first place? You're planning to blackmail me with this excuse, aren't you? While the two were arguing, a middle-aged man walked over. I heard that the warrior recommended by our Catherine has drawn the holy sword. At first glance, he truly looks impressive. A banquet has already been prepared at home. I wonder if this warrior would honor us by joining for a meal? Seeing Zhong Tianshun about to decline the meal, Male quickly informed him that this was the head of House Steve and also Catherine's father. By drawing the holy sword, you have already brought immense honor to his family. His personal invitation is naturally a gesture of gratitude, so you must not be rude. Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun's eyes lit up. It seems like this meal could lead to quite a bit of money. Then he noticed Catherine, who had been shrinking in the corner from the start, filled with regret. He walked straight up to her, getting right in her face and said, what are you doing? Your dad told me to take you home for dinner. And Catherine, feeling Zhong Tianshun so close, couldn't help but feel her heart racing uncontrollably, all while worrying about what to do if he heard such a loud heartbeat. Wait, what did you just say? You're coming to my house for dinner? Really? And Zhong Tianshun replied, of course it's true. You're acting really strange today. The clan leader watching from the side didn't quite understand what was happening but was impressed. As expected of the hero who can pull out the sacred sword, your way of doing things is truly unique. The scene shifts as the group returns to Steve Manor. Zhong Tianshun grinned slyly, wrapping an arm around the clan leader and said, buddy, I just pulled the sacred sword on behalf of your family. You should show some appreciation, right? The clan leader immediately understood and instructed the butler to prepare more spirit coins. Bai Qing, who was standing behind them, was speechless at the sight. He actually asked for money directly, without the slightest hint of subtlety. At the banquet, the clan leader noticed that Zhong Tianshun hadn't taken a single bite, and assumed that the lavish spread of fish and meat didn't suit his taste. However, Zhong Tianshun said, don't worry about me. As long as I have money in my pocket, I don't need to eat or drink. I don't know why. Upon hearing this, Bai Qing was inwardly astonished, thinking, this must be the fasting ability that only cultivators at an extremely high stage can achieve. So he had already reached such a stage. It was just that he had lost his memory and was unaware of this reason. A few minutes later, Wandering Long let out a contented burp and said, I'm full. Zhong Tianshun glared at him angrily. When did you come out? Wandering Long replied, I came out when I smelled the aroma. After all, I haven't eaten in 5,000 years. At this moment, Catherine reminded him, you haven't sold the demon core brought out from Ghost Valley, have you? Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun took out 2 demon cores and said, not yet. What exactly is the use of this demon core? Demon cores are precious materials found only in high-level demonic beasts. Their primary use is to enhance equipment. Adding a demon core during equipment reforging significantly enhances its quality. Due to the inclusion of the demon core, these pieces of equipment also achieve better effectiveness when combating demonic beasts. The Demon Hunter Association has been actively purchasing demon cores. A Tier 4 demon core like the one you possess could buy a decent house in Pharaoh City. Hearing this, Zhong Tianshun was thrilled. Just this small stone can trade for a house? Then I'm about to get rich. Wandering Long swallowed 2 demon cores in one gulp and let out a burp. Although the texture is a bit hard, the taste is not bad. Lovely Shun, do you have any more demon cores? I still want to eat. At this moment, Zhong Tianshun's aura drastically changed, radiating boundless resentment all around him. Unfilial Long, what you just devoured was my house. Zhong Tianshun was extremely furious and wanted to pull it out of his mouth. That was a demon core worth an entire house. The clan leader nearby quickly stepped forward to mediate the situation and promised to compensate with a house. Only then did Zhong Tianshun let the matter rest. At that moment, Wandering Long suddenly felt a powerful force surging within his body. It seemed to be because of the demon core making it even more powerful. Zhong Tianshun thought it was just making excuses. But then Baiqing said that it was indeed possible. After all, its true form is a weapon, and the demon core could also enhance its power. The butler suddenly appeared and interrupted everyone's conversation. Master Mississippi. The other three great families and the Order of the Holy Cross have sent congratulatory gifts for our hero. Shall we bring them in for the hero to see? Zhong Tianshun, upon hearing about the congratulatory gifts, his eyes instantly lit up. Hurry up and bring it in for me to see. I saw House Walton present 30,000 spirit coins and a deed to a luxury villa in Pharaoh City. Zhong Tianshun looked at these gleaming spirit coins, extremely excited, and said, I'll gladly accept these 30,000 spirit coins. However, I already own a house, so this deed is of no use to me. Let them convert it into cash. And House DuPont presented a suit of paladin armor, entirely crafted from gold, indestructible. Even the most ferocious demonic beast cannot breach its defense. However, Zhong Tianshun found it too cumbersome and requested to cash it out instead. Then House Onassis presented 3 exquisite maids. As the words fell, 3 fair-skinned and beautiful young ladies in black stockings walked in. Your heroic act of drawing the sacred sword has deeply impressed us, brave one. May we have the honor of staying by your side to serve you at all times? We are ready to do anything you command, brave one. With us by your side, we will ensure your utmost comfort. Beside them, Catherine blushed deeply, silently cursing House Onassis for sending such a shameless gift. It was truly indecent. And Zhong Tianshun, surrounded by the girls, was extremely excited. All 3 girls were stunningly beautiful and utterly irresistible. Will you fulfill whatever I say? The blue-haired girl shyly said. Yes, even if you make that kind of request, it's okay. Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun whispered to the butler. Old man, did you hear that? Let's cash out these girls as well. The 3 girls froze in place upon hearing this. Am I being rejected? This is the first time I've ever been returned after all these years in the industry, one of them thought. The pink-haired girl beside her spoke the truth. I feel like he just wants to exchange us for more money. The door slowly opened, and in walked Male, who had come to deliver congratulatory gifts on behalf of the Order of the Holy Cross. She presented a knight's medal. This medal is a symbol of power and status, representing supreme honor that cannot be measured by money. Upon hearing that it couldn't be sold for money, Zhong Tianshun immediately lost interest. It wasn't until Male told him that this medal could mobilize adventurers below Order D that he reluctantly accepted it. Then Male hesitantly mentioned that he had come today not just to deliver the medal, but also to ask a favor, something that might be a bit rude, but he had to do it. May I touch you? Upon hearing this, both girls were stunned. This Male really is bold. Seeing that everyone had misunderstood, Male quickly explained, Don't get me wrong, I'm just a bit curious about your power. The magic I practice allows me to sense various types of power. You didn't use even a hint of telekinesis to pull out the holy sword, which completely defies logic. That's why I want to personally experience the immense energy within you. After obtaining Zhong Tianshun's consent, Male placed his hand on Zhong Tianshun's pectoral muscles and began to feel around. And after being touched for a while, Zhong Tianshun said somewhat impatiently, Are you done? If you keep touching, I'm going to charge you. Male quickly asked to wait a bit longer. There isn't a trace of telekinesis on him. I need to get closer to sense his true power. Thinking of this, Male pressed her ample chest against him. The next second she let out a moan. Then she panicked, took a few steps back and sat down on the ground. Seeing this, everyone asked her what was wrong. Male exclaimed in shock. I sense an immense power, similar to that on the holy sword. It's a formidable force beyond telekinesis. She was originally a high-ranking priest of the Order of the Holy Cross. She merely touched the man's pectoral muscles. She couldn't help but let out a moan. She even knelt down, wanting to feel the strength within the man. But it was interrupted by the sudden appearance of an ancient evil dragon. Instantly, Pharaoh City turned into a living hell. Just as the silver-haired girl, watching the fiery breath right before her eyes, felt despair, Zhong Tianshun teleported in front of her. "Don't be afraid." Then he gently blew out a breath. The fiery breath capable of destroying an entire city was instantly blown away. Male witnessing this scene was utterly speechless with shock. Meanwhile, Baiqing calmly remarked, "This is just standard procedure. You'll get used to it. But what's the deal with that evil dragon?" "That is an ancient legend. It is said that it dates back to the same era as the Holy Sword. It has attacked Pharaoh City multiple times because it is drawn by the unique energy waves emitted by the Holy Sword. The evil dragon spews fierce flames, and wherever its fire reaches, everything is reduced to ashes. Our telekinetic is utterly powerless against such a terrifying evil dragon." Everyone could only place their hopes on the hero who could pull out the sacred sword, but the hero never appeared. Fortunately, as time passed, the evil dragon gradually weakened and eventually left Pharaoh City, never to be seen again. Who would have thought that the legend was actually true? But it doesn't matter, Zhong Tianshun will take action. Since he was able to pull out the holy sword, he will definitely be able to defeat the evil dragon. At this moment, our brave hero actually started collecting protection money from the girl beside him, who was clearly captivated by Zhong Tianshun's heroic demeanor. "I don't have enough spirit coins. Can I pay with my body instead?" At that very moment, the evil dragon seemed to sense something and charged straight toward Zhong Tianshun. Seeing the evil dragon right before his eyes, Zhong Tianshun calmly raised his palm. He shouted loudly, "Kneel down for me!" With a thunderous boom, the demon dragon was instantly suppressed by a single palm strike. What an astonishing strike! The entire Pharaoh City was shaking just like an earthquake. At this moment, Zhong Tianshun noticed something unusual about the ancient evil dragon. It seemed to have fallen into a state of madness due to extreme pain. And it's clearly an ancient demonic beast, so why do I sense spiritual power emanating from it? Wandering Long answered his confusion. This beast has an artifact inside its belly. During the Immortal Demon War, it somehow swallowed an artifact and was tormented to near death by the spiritual power within. Later, when it sensed spiritual power on me, it shamelessly clung to me, begging for help. I never paid it any attention. That creature hasn't shown up for thousands of years. I thought it had died, but who would have guessed it managed to survive all this time? Zhong Tianshun immediately became interested upon hearing about the artifact. Then he kicked the feigning evil dragon away with one foot. Control the force. It would be a shame to damage the artifact inside. 1/10 of your strength is enough. As the words fell, the wandering long sword in hand was gently swung, and a sharp sword light flashed past the evil dragon. With a sharp whoosh, a bloody wound was slashed across the opponent's massive body. In agony, the evil dragon spewed a mouthful of blood, within which was mixed a peculiarly shaped mirror. Zhong Tianshun reached out and caught the mirror, only to be pulled into another space the very next second. It turns out this mirror is called the Mirror of 1,000 Autumns. It contains a pocket world. Anything illuminated by its light will be drawn inside. At that moment a roar echoed through the air. "Sect leader of mythical sky sect, Zhong Tianshun, I recognize you. The immortal cultivator who once fought our demon god to the very end. You are him, yet not entirely him. Your face hasn't changed, but your aura is different. Even your strength falls far short of your peak. What exactly happened to you, demon god? Why are you still alive after the battle with the demon god? What did you do to the demon god?" But Zhong Tianshun replied, "Who knows? Maybe it's long dead." After receiving this news, the evil dragon clearly did not believe it. The demon god was the ruler who had dominated the entire demon realm. He is an existence capable of dominating the world. All the immortal cultivators could not stop him, and neither can you. With that, it summoned all its strength and unleashed its most powerful dragon's breath. Zhong Tianshun brought his two fingers together, driving the wandering longsword to meet it. Wandering longsword chi. As his words fell, a green divine long appeared. With a swish, the azure longsword chi swept past the evil dragon, instantly reducing it to a skeleton. Zhong Tianshun looked at the skeleton before him with disdain and said, "We're both dragons, so why are you so weak?" A moment later, Zhong Tianshun held up a red demon core and asked Wandering Long, "Will you eat the demon core of the ancient evil dragon?" Wandering Long's eyes lit up as he replied, "Yes. Ever since I tried it last time, I've fallen in love with that feeling." That beast said, "I am Zhong Tianshun, yet not Zhong Tianshun. What does that mean? Tell me everything you knew before, and I'll let you eat it. Wandering Long sighed and said, actually, when I first met you and you mentioned losing your memory, I had already guessed it. It's just that the timing wasn't right back then, so I didn't tell you. You are actually a fragment of the primordial spirit of the sect leader of the mythical sky sect. By some twist of fate, you awaken self-awareness. Precisely because of this, you possess a personality distinct from his. Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun recalled, actually, ever since I gained consciousness, I had been slumbering within a Xuanyuan Tree. It wasn't until a bolt of heavenly lightning struck that I finally gained my freedom. That explains everything. The Xuanyuan Tree is an ancient divine tree, and the spiritual power within it is impervious to the erosion of demonic energy. It was under its nurturing that you awakened your consciousness. As for the fragments of the primordial spirit, that story dates back 5,000 years. At that time, a demon god was born in the demon realm, possessing unparalleled power. With a single punch, he conquered the entire demon realm continent. Just as the demon god was secretly rejoicing, the high priest made a prophecy. The demon god would ultimately be slain by an immortal cultivator. In order to defy the prophecy, the demon god created a vast number of tainted demonic artifacts capable of countering immortal cultivators. He then led the armies of the demon realm into war against the immortal cultivators. In this battle, the immortal cultivators suffered heavy casualties, and in the end, only the sect leader of the mythical sky sect remained. To stop the demon god, he used all of his spiritual power to seal the demon god within his own primordial spirit. Then he detonated his primordial spirit, perishing together with the demon god. Because the sect leader practiced the mystic heaven secret art, his primordial spirit did not vanish into thin air, but instead split into 9 fragments scattered across the continent. And since you have inherited the title of sect leader of mythical sky sect, Zhong Tianshun, you must take it upon yourself to rebuild the immortal cultivation realm. The immediate priority is to gather the other primordial spirit fragments. However, Zhong Tianshun is unwilling. You suddenly deny my identity and then place such a heavy burden on my shoulders. Whoever is willing to shoulder such a responsibility can go ahead and do it. I have no interest. Upon hearing this, Wandering Long revealed an expression that said, just as I expected. Seems there's only one way to win him over. Each fragment of the sect leader's primordial spirit possesses immense spiritual energy. This spiritual energy attracts the approach of ancient artifacts. Therefore, those who find the primordial spirit fragments will gain possession of these artifacts. Each of these artifacts, if taken out individually, is a treasure of immeasurable value. Hearing the phrase immeasurable value, Zhong Tianshun immediately took a step forward. Let's go. It's time to leave Pharaoh City and retrieve the scattered primordial spirit fragments. Meanwhile, at the demon realm's headquarters, the blue-haired enchantress who had appeared in Ghost Valley had already returned, bringing back the tainted demonic artifact, Dominus Cube. At the same time, she reported to the demon god that she had sensed the aura of an immortal cultivator fighting outside Pharaoh City. Upon hearing this, the demon god could no longer remain seated. Could there still be immortal cultivators surviving in this world? Bring me his head. She was originally the eldest daughter of Pharaoh City. She actually undressed in front of a man. Afterwards, they even spent an intimate night together. She only wanted to leave the man with a beautiful memory. On the eve of Zhong Tianshun's departure, Male tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep. Her mind was filled with the image of Zhong Tianshun. Zhong Tianshun, what kind of magic do you possess? Why is it that ever since I met you, my mind has been completely filled with thoughts of you? Then she suddenly sat up. No, I must stop these dangerous thoughts. For a nun, thinking about a man is a sin. At the same time, Bai Qing tiptoed to the outside of Catherine's bedroom. She eavesdropped on Catherine murmuring to herself. Zhong Tianshun is leaving tomorrow, but I haven't made any progress at all. Once we part ways tomorrow, will we still have a chance to meet again? What should I do? Should I take advantage of tonight to muster the courage and confess to him? But confessing is so embarrassing. What if I get rejected? That would be too humiliating. Hearing this, Bai Qing outside the room thought, Catherine is so beautiful, has such a great figure, and most importantly, she's very wealthy. Zhong Tianshun must really like her, right? She exhaled streams of pink smoke. Although she felt a bit jealous, Zhong Tianshun would surely regret missing out on her. Let me give you two a little push. Catherine, who was in the bath, also noticed the pink smoke in the bedroom. Before she could think much about it, suddenly a wave of intense heat overwhelmed her, and her eyes turned into heart shapes. A moment later, Zhong Tianshun followed Baiqing's advice and came to bid farewell to Catherine. Only to see Catherine walk out wearing a sheer nightgown. She said with a seductive look in her eyes, "I thought you were just going to leave like that. In the end you couldn't let me go, could you? You don't look too well. Did you catch a chill from wearing so little? You should drink more warm water. Thank you for taking care of me these days. It's late so I won't disturb your rest anymore. Please focus on recovering. I'll be leaving now." As soon as he finished speaking, he was about to leave. He was hugged from behind by Catherine. "Don't go," she said. "I don't want to let you go just like that. Ever since you saved me from the goblin chieftain, I've had feelings for you. Every night I lie awake thinking of you. Before you leave, can you create a special memory with me?" Hearing this, Zhong Tianshun swallowed hard and said, "That doesn't sound like something you'd say. Did that little fox do something to you?" And Catherine said with clear eyes, "No, I'm very sober right now." Then she even took off her sheer nightgown, saying, "I know exactly what I'm doing." The next day, outside Pharaoh City, Baiqing looked at Zhong Tianshun, who had been silent all along the way. "You seem distracted. Did you not sleep well last night?" At the mention of last night, Zhong Tianshun snapped back to attention instantly. What was on his mind, however, were the scenes from last night with Catherine in bed. He said guiltily, "No such thing. I slept very well last night." Upon hearing this, Baiqing showed a playful smile and said, "Then I'm relieved." At that very moment, a figure blocked the way ahead. The person who appeared was none other than Carl Zhong Tianshun from House Onassis. "You're not going anywhere today. Everyone come out now." As the words fell, 3 individuals emerged from behind the large tree. They are respectively Jenny from the S-Class Telekinetic House Onassis, S-Class Telekinetic House Walton's Lightning Sword Parappa, and House DuPont's S-Class Telekinetic High Knight Alan. Seeing this, Zhong Tianshun summoned the Wandering Longsword and said disdainfully, "I don't care if your helper is C-Class or S-Class, they all look the same to me. I'm leaving today and that's final. Not even Jesus can stop me." She was originally the most powerful figure in the House of Onassis. Just because she wore a sexy little leather skirt. She was noticed by a man. And the man even wanted to strip off her clothes. Just moments ago, Zhong Tianshun and the other person had just left Pharaoh City. He was immediately intercepted by Carl from House Onassis. And even called in the S-Class telekinetics from the 3 families of Pharaoh City. Simply because Zhong Tianshun repeatedly stole his spotlight, the narrow-minded man vowed to make Zhong Tianshun die without a burial place. Seeing this, Zhong Tianshun radiated waves of spiritual power all over his body. "If you want to block my path, let's see if you have the ability." The first to strike was House Walton's Lightning Sword Parappa. He thrust his sword forward. The sword light transformed into a thunderbird surrounded by lightning. Seeing this, Zhong Tianshun sneered disdainfully, "It's just lightning, isn't it?" As he spoke, he raised the Wandering Long and swung it down with a slash. A thunder long, crackling with electric light, flew out. It tore the opposing thunderbird to shreds with one bite, then charged straight toward the group. Seeing this, High Knight Alan of House DuPont stepped forward without hesitation. "Watch my holy light guard." With a deafening boom, the holy light barrier barely managed to block the Thunder Long's attack. After the smoke cleared, Alan's shield-bearing hand trembled uncontrollably. Such a powerful attack. My arm has gone completely numb from the impact. If my shield weren't so sturdy, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Seeing this, Jenny thought the two were rusty from not having fought in a while. Alan reminded her not to underestimate him. That guy had some skills. Jenny, however, was unconvinced. The reputation of House Onassis was earned through real battles. Why would I be afraid of some young upstart? If he leaves Pharaoh City alive today, the face of our 3 families would truly be lost. "That's enough from you," she said as she lashed out with her whip. "One whip isn't enough to satisfy. I want to whip both of you to death in one breath. That would be truly thrilling." Countless whip shadows engulfed Zhong Tianshun and the other person, but they were all blocked by Zhong Tianshun's protective golden beads. At that moment he grabbed the whip and sneered, "A little whip like this is only good for spanking. If you want to kill someone, you'd better forget it. However, as a noble, that little leather skirt of yours must be worth quite a bit." With that, he gave it a hard tug. Jenny instantly felt a tremendous force pulling her over. "Wait, what are you trying to do?" Zhong Tianshun replied, "Nothing, just thought your clothes looked nice." Jenny was completely flustered. What kind of wild talk is this guy spouting? Is he a pervert? Then she decisively threw down the whip and ran away. At the same time, she felt immensely relieved in her heart, thinking, thank goodness he didn't succeed. Otherwise, how could I ever face anyone again? However, Alan, who was nearby, noticed that she was blushing. This made Jenny so embarrassed and angry that she immediately told him to shut up. Witnessing this scene, Carl began to question his life. Why was this happening? They were the most powerful S-class telekinetics in Pharaoh City, yet they were helpless against this bastard. He doesn't even have telekinesis, so how does he possess such power? I really hate this so much. You were all so brave just now, why are you silent now? If you don't step up, I'm going to make a move. As he finished speaking, he took a slight step and appeared behind Carl. This is a sword technique I've been studying the past couple of days, still a bit rusty. I'll use you to practice first. Disrobe sword art. 2 swift flashes of sword light swept by. A bewildered Carl looked utterly confused. This bone-chilling sensation. It couldn't be. She was originally one of the highest authorities in Pharaoh City. He was actually stripped of his clothes by a man with a single sword strike. And then it escalated into a bondage play. Her son could only rage helplessly. Just now, Carl and his group blocked Zhong Tianshun's path. After a fight, Zhong Tianshun used a single move of the disrobe sword art to shatter all of Carl's clothing. It seems the disrobe sword art is still a bit rusty. What a pity that all the clothes were shattered. Carl, snapping out of his daze, cursed furiously. Zhong Tianshun, you bastard. How dare you make a fool of me? I'll tear you to pieces. But he was mocked by Zhong Tianshun. You'd better hold on to your pants first. He took a step and charged towards Jenny. This time I'll start with your mom. You better not move around. Jenny quickly leaped up to dodge Zhong Tianshun's disrobe sword art. Hovering in midair, she fumed and snapped. You brat, using such underhanded tactics again and again. What are you trying to do? You keep saying you want my clothes. Could it be that you've taken a fancy to me? My son is about your age. There's no possibility between us. For the sake of my reputation, I must take your life today. Let me show you my magical prowess, Jenny. It would be an honor for you to die by this move. As the words fell, an arcane formation materialized in her hand. The House Onassis family's inherited magic, annihilation missile. Countless red projectiles were summoned from the arcane formation, homing in on Zhong Tianshun. While dodging the barrage of missiles, Zhong Tianshun couldn't help but feel frustrated. I was just after some money, why does no one believe me? Do I really look like such a pervert? Running is useless. Even if you flee to the ends of the earth, my magic missiles will lock onto you no matter where you go. Zhong Tianshun moved near Bai Qing and told her, stay right there. I need to grab something. It won't affect you. Then his figure flickered. He charged toward Jenny in the air. Bai Qing was utterly bewildered. Did he just take something from me? He was so fast I couldn't see a thing. At this moment, Zhong Tianshun looked at Jenny, who was right in front of him, and said, didn't you always think I was going to rob you of your dignity? Then I'll do as you wish. A single move of the disrobe sword art swept across her body. All of her clothes burst open. My clothes? How am I supposed to face anyone after this, you pervert? This level isn't enough to be called a pervert yet. I need to step up my game. As he said this, he took out a whip. That's my whip, isn't it? What do you intend to do with that to me? The next second, Zhong Tianshun answered her with action. He tied her up in an extremely humiliating manner. It's all over. I'm already an old woman, yet just because I look good I've ended up like this. Now I'm just meat on the chopping block, completely at his mercy. What does he actually want to do to me? Seeing this scene, Carl's face flushed with anger. You beast! What do you want to do to my mom? Put her down right now. He turned his head and yelled at his 2 accomplices behind him. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and get him. Are you just going to stand there and watch that bastard humiliate my mom? Upon hearing this, the 2 of them erupted with full telekinetic power. Calm down. We're already prepared to go all out. Parappa's entire body was enveloped in lightning. This was his signature move, the lightning sword, moment of thunder. Alan also enlarged his entire body. Finally, he grew to the size of a small mountain, which is the exclusive skill of the High Knight, celestial descent. Wow, that's really impressive. It can actually grow this big. It's not just about the size. My strength will also undergo a qualitative leap. Use your small frame to truly experience this godlike, unparalleled power. As he spoke, he raised the giant sword in his hand and swung it down. A massive shockwave instantly spread out. It's over. I was a bit too forceful just now, but to get rid of that guy I had no choice. I hope Jenny wasn't hurt. Suddenly, Zhong Tianshun's voice came from below. Well done. For someone at your level, it's quite surprising that you could unleash such an earth-shattering attack. But with just this level of power, how dare you call yourself a god? She was originally the head of the House Onassis. She was actually forced by a man into bondage play. Afterward, she was also forced to sign a huge IOU. Just now, Zhong Tianshun made Jenny's clothes disappear with a single sword strike. He then tied her up in an extremely humiliating way. Upon seeing this, High Knight Alan activated Celestial Descent, enlarging himself to the size of a small hill. Then he swung his sword at Zhong Tianshun. But it was effortlessly blocked by him. As Zhong Tianshun swung his sword to block Alan, he himself nearly stumbled. Absolutely impossible. Taking my full force strike head-on and remaining completely unscathed, while also overpowering me in strength at this moment. This is absolutely impossible. I am the undefeated High Knight, adorned with countless glorious honors. How could I possibly lose to a nobody like you? After speaking, Zhong Tianshun charged forward with a grim expression. He unleashed his full aura and said, "What did you just call me?" Alan was instantly overwhelmed by his presence and stammered, little punk." As the words fell, Zhong Tianshun's sword light flashed by. The once arrogant High Knight fell in an instant. Remember to watch your mouth in your next life. Alan's massive body toppled backward, and Carl behind him couldn't dodge in time, ending up crushed beneath Alan. With a thunderous crash, the ground all around trembled violently. A moment later, Zhong Tianshun realized that Carl, the one who had started the trouble, had been crushed by the very allies he had called for help. You deserve this outcome for your own actions. Then he looked at the last person. You're the only one left, Lightning Sword Parappa. You can make your move now. After saying that, Parappa fled backward at the fastest speed he had ever mustered in his life. What's the point of making a move? Jenny and Alan are already down. If I strike now, wouldn't I be asking for death? In terms of combat strength, I'm no match for Jenny and Alan, but when it comes to speed, they can't even catch a glimpse of my taillights. A sword technique as swift as lightning and my own breakneck speed, that's the foundation I stand on. No matter how strong he is, if I'm determined to run, what can he do to stop me? Just as I was thinking, Zhong Tianshun suddenly caught up from the side and said, "Your friends are still behind. Aren't you going to wait for them?" Hearing this, Parappa looked at him with an expression as if he had seen a ghost. Zhong Tianshun extended his right hand, which was crackling with electricity. He grabbed Parappa by the neck. Parappa still wanted to beg for mercy, but was interrupted by Zhong Tianshun's words, "Heavenly Thunder Conduit." A bolt of heavenly lightning, thick as an arm, descended from the sky and struck Parappa directly. After the heavenly lightning dissipated, Parappa was left completely charred. Zhong Tianshun sighed helplessly. I've already been very restrained with the power of the heavenly thunder conduit, but this guy's equipment still got fried. At the same time, inside Pharaoh City, Catherine, after a night of physical exertion with Zhong Tianshun, still lacks the strength to get out of bed. Even though Zhong Tianshun has already left, she can't help but wonder what he is doing now. And our Zhong Tianshun at this moment is grinning widely with wandering long, saying to Catherine, "Now you're all alone. We can do whatever we want to you. Don't come any closer. I am an innocent woman. As long as you don't do anything improper, I'll agree to any of your requests." Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun took out an IOU and said, "That's what you said. We didn't force you. As long as you sign this IOU, I won't lay a finger on you." Jenny looked at the 90 million spirit stones listed on the IOU and felt her vision go dark. This much? Even if I emptied my entire family's savings, I couldn't come up with it. Wandering Long threatened, "Your son is barely hanging on by a thread. Whether you sign or not, you weigh the consequences yourself." Hearing this, Jenny sighed and said, "All right, I'll sign it." A moment later, Jenny bound all over, could only wriggle on the ground. In her heart, she cursed Zhong Tianshun. I've already signed the IOU, yet he still won't untie me. What a shameless person. Carl, hold on a little longer. I'm crawling to you right now. Mom will absolutely not let you die here. Suddenly, a figure blocked her path. I sense a massive fluctuation of spiritual power here. Where is that immortal cultivator? Where is he? Here it comes. Right after Zhong Tianshun forced Jenny to sign the huge oath to teach her a lesson, he left without untying her, just patting his butt and walking away. Only Jenny struggled to wriggle free, trying desperately to save her son. She was blocked by a Tier 5 demonic beast. I sense a strong fluctuation of spiritual chi here. Where is that immortal cultivator? Jenny looked at the other person with confusion. What spiritual chi? What immortal cultivator? I don't understand what you're saying. Forget about that. Hurry up and untie me. My son is in critical condition. You also have traces of spiritual chi on you. This playful style of yours must also be the work of that immortal cultivator. Where is he? As she spoke, she used her magic to lift her into the air. Jenny also came to her senses. That guy is the immortal cultivator you mentioned? What do you want with him? He's incredibly powerful. I think you want his life. East. That bastard went east. Go after him now, hurry. Maybe there's still time. After getting the direction, Tier 5 demonic beast turned to leave but heard Jenny shouting from behind. Wait, are you just going to leave like that? At least untie me first. As soon as she finished speaking, Jenny noticed a huge shadow looming over her and immediately looked up, only to see a meteor emerging from the arcane formation. Then it plummeted straight down. Since it's a battle, we should annihilate them completely. Immortal cultivator with a merciful heart. He is no match for me at all. The time has come tonight. Bai Qing looked at Zhong Tianshun with an expression of speechlessness. You've been grinning foolishly at that Ayu the whole way. Zhong Tianshun replied. But this is 90 million spirit stones. Once I find the artifact, I'll head back to Pharaoh City and have her redeem it. It turns out that the spiritual chi in this world has long been contaminated by demonic energy. Only the spiritual chi within spirit stones can be used by him. So it's no wonder he loves wealth. These spirit stones are his lifeline. By the way, it's already so late. Should we find a place for you to sleep? No, find a place to sleep with me. But then Zhong Tianshun continued. Finding the artifact still relies on your perception. We can't let you get too exhausted. Upon hearing this, Bai Qing blushed slightly and turned her head away. So that's how it is. My mirror of 1,000 autumns is spacious and comfortable. You haven't seen it yet, have you? Stay here for the night. A moment later, inside the mirror of 1,000 autumns, Bai Qing sat on the floor, feeling restless and unable to sleep. Her mind was in turmoil. She sighed as she watched Zhong Tianshun cultivating with a spiritual stone. He really is so simple-minded, caring about nothing but money. Was he this calm last night when he was alone in the room with Catherine? Oh my God, why am I thinking about these things? I can't stay here any longer, or I'll keep overthinking. Since I can't sleep anyway, I'll go out for some fresh air. I need to calm down. After all, I was the one who brought him and Catherine together. I shouldn't be jealous. Besides, I just need Zhong Tianshun's spiritual power to survive, nothing more. Just as I was thinking, a meteor suddenly fell from the sky. Luckily, Bai Qing reacted quickly. She lightly tapped her feet and moved out of the meteor's range. Who dares to ambush me? Is it those relentless pests from Pharaoh City again? As soon as the words were spoken, 2 stone giants roared and charged forward. Bai Qing leaped into the air, dodging the stone giant's attack. She waved her hand with a single motion. 2 ethereal blue foxfires sped toward the stone golem. With a thunderous boom, the stone golem was instantly shattered into pieces by the foxfire. Who's there playing tricks? Show yourself right now. A figure suddenly emerged behind her. Were you calling for me? Bai Qing immediately turned around and struck her with a blow. Ethereal blue foxfire. At the same time, she was inwardly shocked. When did she get behind me? I didn't even sense it. I followed the spiritual energy all the way here, but then it disappeared. After waiting for a while, I saw you appear out of nowhere. You are emanating a great amount of spiritual energy. You must be that immortal cultivator who appeared in Ghost Valley, right? She was originally the great protector of the demon race. Yet every day she thinks about how to overthrow the demon god. Even in her illusions, she's getting close to the demon god. Just a moment ago, the great guardian Obistin, by the command of the demon god, was ordered to eliminate the surviving immortal cultivators. After pursuing all the way, she happened to run into Bai Qing, who had come out for some fresh air. After a brief confrontation, Bai Qing realized she was targeting Zhong Tianshun, but since she didn't actually know Zhong Tianshun, she decided to play along and probe into her background. Who exactly are you? Why have you been tracking me all the way here? Since you know about the immortal cultivator, you should be aware of my power. Obiston's face lit up with joy. Judging by your tone, I've found the right person. I am here under the orders of the demon god to take your life, great protector Obiston. Immortal cultivator, your time of death has come. As she spoke, she released several streams of green demonic energy from her wand. Baiqing, unable to dodge in time, was instantly blasted over 10 meters away. She didn't stop until she crashed into the mountain behind her, creating a huge crater. Cough cough. Such immense power. Far stronger than those guys from Pharaoh City. There's no way I could defeat her in a head-on confrontation. Obiston looked down at her from above. One strike and you're already done? You're even weaker than I imagined. Is it because you expended too much spiritual chi from fighting those S-class opponents earlier? Running into me at a time like this, you really are out of luck. As she spoke, she shot out 3 sharp stones. Baiqing saw this and leaped into the air. She dodged the stone attack while moving behind her, a ball of ethereal blue foxfire gathering in her hand. Just as she was about to attack, she realized she was already enveloped by Obiston's demonic energy. The next second, her body plummeted uncontrollably. My left hand can control any object I lock onto. This is the demonic power hand bestowed upon me by Lord Demon God. You can never escape my grasp. Besides Lord Demon God's orders, you also killed my mount in Ghost Valley. Whether for public duty or personal reasons, I must end you here. To perish at the hands of the demon race is a fate that no immortal cultivator can escape. As she spoke, she manipulated the nearby stones to coalesce into a massive stone spike. Seeing this, Baiqing quickly shouted, "Wait! I still have something to say. The demon god you mentioned, didn't he die in the immortal demon war? The demon race has long been scattered and disorganized. How can you make a comeback now? The demon god will die at the hands of the immortal cultivators." That's a joke. Lord Demon God has now been reborn. Once all the corrupted demonic artifacts are recovered, Lord Demon God will return to his peak, then reign supreme and unify the 3 realms. I see. Thank you for the information. Now I know who Zhong Tianshun's enemy is. Obiston was baffled. What do you mean by that? Who is Zhong Tianshun? At that moment, pink patterns began to emerge on Baiqing's body. Although I am no match for you, I will not lose to you. As soon as the words fell, pink heart-shaped spiritual energy instantly filled the surroundings. What is this? At a time like this, what kind of trick are you trying to pull? No sooner had she spoken than she felt an intense heat spreading all over her body. The next second, her eyes turned into the shape of hearts, already deeply lost in the illusion. In the demon race's grand hall, the demon god decided to reward Obiston for retrieving the demonic artifact. However, Obiston's cheeks flushed slightly as she spoke. As long as I can serve by the side of the demon god, I will be completely satisfied. Hearing this, the demon god stood up. I have long been aware of your thoughts. Be my woman. Isn't this what you've always been waiting for? Obiston's heart is racing wildly. Being your woman. This doesn't seem quite right. As soon as the words fell, she was pulled forcefully into the demon god's embrace. Enough nonsense. Are you trying to defy my decree? It's you I want. Let the ceremony begin now. Let the ceremony of our love unite us as one. Obiston in reality began to tremble all over. At the same time she cried out, "No, don't, not there." Watching the lovesick Obiston Baiqing, I couldn't help but comment, who would have thought she's such a romantic at heart? But that's also a testament to the power of my enchanting art. Anyone who falls for it will have their inner desires amplified. They'll become so immersed in the pleasures of the flesh that they can't break free, eventually becoming completely dominated by carnal lust. This battle, I've won. Plot twist, plot twist. Just as the little fox Baiqing used her illusion magic to bewitch the enemy. Confident of victory, she was just about to deliver the final blow to the enemy. Yet, to her surprise, she ended up being stabbed through the heart herself. Baiqing's face was filled with disbelief. How could this be? How did you break my enchanting art? Obiston pulled out the stone spike from his abdomen and said, "It's pain. The most direct way to break an illusion is through pain." After saying that, she waved her hand and pulled the magic wand out of Baiqing's body. The severely injured Baiqing knelt on the ground, clutching his wound. The illusion just now was indeed intoxicating. I didn't even want to wake up, but you underestimated my devotion to Lord Demon God. Lord Demon God is destined to rule all 3 realms sooner or later. He is the one I revere most in my heart, and I will never allow anyone to tarnish his name. As she spoke, she used demonic power hand to conjure a massive stone spike. It shot rapidly towards Bai Qing. I have been asleep for so long before being reborn, and now everything is over. Damn it, I don't want to die here. Save me, Zhong Tianshun. At this critical moment, Zhong Tianshun appeared just in time. With just a wave of his hand, he sliced through the massive stone cone. He turned to Bai Qing and said, "It's dangerous to go out for a walk alone in the middle of the night. Next time, remember to call me to join you." Bai Qing, having survived the ordeal, finally burst into tears. "Zhong Tianshun, you idiot, you big fool. Couldn't you have shown up sooner? Don't cry now, I'm here, aren't I?" Obistin's body jolted upon seeing Zhong Tianshun's face. This can't be. How could this happen? Why does this person's face resemble that of the demon god so closely? It's as if they were carved from the same mold. What exactly went wrong? The demon god possesses the most supreme bloodline. Never mind, I won't dwell on it. It must have been the illusion just now affecting me. I was wondering earlier why that S-rank female cultivator ended up in such a state. Now I understand, it was all your doing. The spiritual energy emanating from you is incredibly dense. It seems you are the immortal cultivator I must eliminate. As she spoke, she manipulated all the stones to rise into the air. Seeing this, Zhong Tianshun looked on with disdain. Is this just magic to stir up dust? It's not as simple as you think. You'll soon regret what you just said. As she finished speaking, she pointed her wand forward, stirring up a whirlwind of sand and stones. All the rocks swept toward Zhong Tianshun like a cyclone. These countless grains of sand and fragments of stone will slice through your flesh like blades, piece by piece. There is no way for you to evade them, and you won't even have a chance to beg for mercy. After the smoke cleared, a golden protective shield appeared, completely unscathed. Inside, Zhong Tianshun, looking bored, picked his ear and asked her, "You mentioned earlier that you met Ginny from House Onassis. How is she doing now? Did she make it home safely?" Obistin stared at this scene dumbstruck. Cold sweat instantly broke out on her face. "I'm talking to you, can't you hear me?" As he spoke, he casually flicked out a small stone. The small stone carried an incomparable force. It directly pierced through Obistin. Damn it, a casual strike was enough to take me down. How can he be so powerful? Is this the strength of an immortal cultivator? I ask you one last time, what exactly happened to Jenny? Seeing Zhong Tianshun so concerned about her, Obistin sneered and said, "That kind of person, I've already killed her." As soon as the words were spoken, Zhong Tianshun's aura suddenly shifted, his entire body enveloped in an overwhelmingly dense killing intent. "You said you killed someone, who was it again?" She was originally the strongest great protector of the demon race. Yet she ended up being extorted for 90 million by a man. Even worse, she couldn't come up with the money. She was even stripped completely naked by the man. Just now, Zhong Tianshun learned that the debtor who owes him 90 million yuan. She was killed by Obistin right before her eyes. The entire person was instantly enveloped by a thick, murderous aura. As the great guardian of the demon race, Obistin was so frightened by this immense murderous aura that he kept retreating. What is this pure killing intent all about? How could it make me so terrified? His overwhelming presence is beyond my imagination. I can't even breathe in front of him. Why is he so fixated on that person named Ginny? Could it be that they have some unspeakable secret between them? The whip on that woman is the best evidence. So what if I killed his woman? I can't be intimidated by his presence. The mission is not yet complete. I must never show such disgraceful behavior again. Then she struggled to her feet. I am the Tier 5 demonic beast Obsidian Princess Obistin, subordinate to the demon god. I am here under the demon god's command to take your life. As she spoke, she pointed a single finger toward the sky. I am gathering all my energy into this strike. This will be my ultimate magic. Let us decide the outcome with this one move. Meteor of radiant light. As the words fell, meteors ablaze with raging flames descended from the sky. Witnessing this scene, Zhong Tianshun showed no sign of panic. Instead, he praised Obistin, marveling at his ability to actually summon meteors. But what can that do to me? As the words fell, the wandering long sword transformed into an azure long and charged forward. It opened its huge mouth and was about to swallow the meteorite. The next second, the wandering long that had swallowed the meteorite turned into a lollipop long. Then it let out a satisfied burp. A mere Tier 5 demonic beast dares to seek my life? How overconfident. I lost. I lost completely. The power of an immortal cultivator is truly terrifying. No wonder the Grand Priest made that prophecy. Could the demon god truly be defeated by him? Impossible. The demon god is invincible. At this moment, Zhong Tianshun interrupted Obiston's wild thoughts. He pulled out an IOU from his sleeve and said, "Because you killed Jenny, this IOU of mine seems to be void now. Can you afford to compensate for these 90 million spiritual stones?" Upon hearing this, Obiston nervously said, "I don't have the money, I can't afford to pay." What a pity, that's not the answer I wanted. As he spoke, he opened the mirror of 1,000 autumns to reclaim her equipment for me. With a sharp whoosh, all the clothing on Obiston was instantly sucked into the mirror of 1,000 autumns. Looking at the completely naked Obiston before him, Zhong Tianshun felt utterly disappointed. With just this little equipment, how much money can it even fetch? To make up for the 90 million spiritual stones, how many noble families would it take? Pervert. You must be a pervert. Since I've lost, do whatever you want. Kill me or cut me to pieces. But why are you taking off my clothes? You're so despicable. Do you want my body? I won't let you succeed. My body and soul belong to Lord Demon God. If you dare to do anything, I'll kill myself right in front of you. And Zhong Tianshun turned and walked away, telling her as he left, "You're overthinking it. I don't care if you're male or female. As long as you're of the demon race, I will hunt you down to the very last." At that moment, Obiston realized that a ball of crackling lightning had appeared behind him. 5 Thunder's righteous technique, slaying thunder. As Zhong Tianshun's voice fell, the thunderball suddenly exploded, accompanied by a deafening roar. The entire ground was blasted into a deep pit, and the previous Obiston had already vanished. Only a Tier 5 demon core remained, floating alone in the air. Seeing this, Zhong Tianshun said to Wandering Long, "That Tier 5 demon core is for you. Go ahead and eat it." Then he approached Bai Qing and said, "I've already taken care of that demonic beast. Now you can." Before he could finish his words, he noticed Bai Qing lying unconscious on the ground. Zhong Tianshun hurriedly helped her up and leaned her against the tree. He then slapped Bai Qing repeatedly while saying, "You can't die. I'm counting on you to help me find the mythical Sky Sect's artifact. Little fox, wake up quickly. You must not fall asleep." Bai Qing grabbed Zhong Tianshun's arm firmly. She said weakly, "If you keep hitting me, I'm really going to die." Zhong Tianshun lifted her onto his shoulder. "Great, it's good that you're awake. I'll take you to find a doctor right away." Hearing this, Bai Qing hurriedly said shyly, "Wait, put me down first. There's no need to find a doctor. As long as I have your spiritual energy to nourish me, I'll recover quickly." Zhong Tianshun hesitated. "Can such a serious injury really heal?" "Just find a hot spring, and I can increase the efficiency of absorbing spiritual energy, just like the first night we met." "So you mean just by taking a bath together we can recover, right?" A moment later, unable to find a hot spring nearby, we had to make do with a small pond. At this moment, Zhong Tianshun, completely naked, said helplessly, "Do we really have to be this bare? Couldn't you at least leave me with my underwear?" But Bai Qing said, "To treat me, you'll just have to bear with it for a while." Zhong Tianshun pointed at Bai Qing speechlessly and said, "Then why don't you take off yours? That's not fair." Bai Qing quickly turned her head away and said shyly, "I don't need to take off my clothes to absorb spiritual qi. All right, you can release the spiritual qi now." Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun immediately released a vast surge of spiritual qi. Bai Qing was so astonished by the immense surge of spiritual qi that she was left speechless. No wonder he could effortlessly overpower that Obiston. Zhong Tianshun's strength was truly unfathomable. Such an overwhelmingly powerful spiritual qi is spreading everywhere. It's truly intoxicating. Even the pain from my injuries is beginning to fade. Such an overwhelmingly pure and potent spiritual qi is truly invaluable. I absolutely must not waste it. With that thought, she immediately embraced Zhong Tianshun and kissed him. With a loud splash, the two of them tumbled into the pond. Not enough, far from enough. I want more. After some time had passed, with a splash, Bai Qing emerged unscathed from the water, all previous injuries completely healed. This really put Zhong Tianshun, who was nearby, through the ringer, almost drained dry. "Are you trying to kill me?" Seeing this, Bai Qing said with a coquettish look, "Sorry, your spiritual energy is just too tempting. I couldn't help myself for a moment." The next day, Zhong Tianshun said to the Wandering Long beneath him, "You've eaten my Tier 5 demon core, Now it's your turn to put in the effort. Don't you dare slack off. And you little fox, do you have to stick so close to me? Baiqing grinned playfully. It's so high up here I'm scared. Suddenly, she sensed the aura of an artifact nearby. This aura is very similar to yours. Perhaps this is the mythical sky sect spiritual treasure you've been searching for. Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun's eyes immediately lit up. At the same time, a pair of long legs was sprinting deep within the forest. That was none other than Princess Aurora of the Elves. At that moment, she was being pursued by two thieves. Why are you chasing me? I have no grudge against you. But then the thieves said, elves are an extremely rare race. Just capturing you and selling you on the black market would fetch an astronomical price. Upon hearing this, Aurora suddenly stopped in her tracks. The two thieves thought she had given up resistance and was ready to surrender. But then they saw Aurora's entire demeanor shift. So you want to kidnap me, huh? Then we're enemies. I won't let you succeed. Then, Aurora raised one hand and shouted, Moonlight Flash Butterfly. Countless blue butterflies flew out from all around. They swarmed towards the two thieves. One of them sneered disdainfully, is this little trick really meant to attack? Moonlight Curse weakening. As the words fell, the two thieves instantly turned into emaciated old men. Seeing this, the two men broke down. My hairstyle is completely ruined. I can't face anyone like this. What kind of dark magic did you use? Hurry up and change us back. All of this is the consequence of your own actions. Thinking you could mess with the elves, you're still far from capable. At that moment, two figures suddenly appeared from behind. It was none other than Mark and Gina, the elite rogues of the Savage Bandits, both of whom had reached a level in telekinesis. Little girl, I have a great proposal. Take us to the elf village and I guarantee you won't die. How does that sound? I'm not little, she said, unleashing her full telekinesis. Underestimating the magic of us elves will come at a great cost. Then with a single hand gesture, she directed all the moonlight flash butterflies to charge toward the two of them. Seeing this, Gina looked completely disdainful. Too naive. Don't you know the same move can't be used twice in front of an enemy? As she spoke, she summoned 3 red whirlwinds that swept up all the moonlight flash butterflies. No matter how powerful the magic is, if it can't reach the enemy, it's nothing. Watch carefully, this is real magic. With a wave of her hand, the whirlwinds surged toward Aurora. My whirlwinds will shred everything like sharp blades. In just an instant, you will completely lose the ability to resist. It's my first time leaving the village, and I've encountered such a formidable enemy right away. It's just so unlucky. Do I really have to use that move now? Before she could think further, a sudden impact from above shattered Gina's magic. What's going on? The whirlwind has been dispersed. Did something fall from the sky? As the smoke cleared, Zhong Tianshun and Baiqing were revealed standing inside. Baiqing looked at Aurora in front of him and said, the aura of the artifact is emanating from her. Seeing this, Aurora's heart sank. It's over. They're coming for me. This is really looking grim. Baiqing looked at Aurora in front of him and said, the aura of the artifact is emanating from her. Seeing this, Aurora's heart sank. It's over, they're coming for me. This is really bad. Zhong Tianshun suddenly rushed in front of her. Girl, you're barely wearing any clothes. Where could you possibly hide the artifact? Hearing this, Aurora grew extremely nervous. What do you mean by that? Meanwhile, Zhong Tianshun ignored her and glanced downward. He stared at the 2 enormous objects on her chest. Could it be? Is it hidden inside here? The 2 elite thieves on the side, seeing that the newcomer not only dispersed their whirlwinds but also completely ignored them, were utterly enraged. It seemed they needed to teach him a lesson and show him the immensity of heaven and earth. Radiant Scale Greatsword. As he spoke, the long sword in his hand instantly grew to an enormous size. You're absolutely right. Those who dare to despise magic have no right to live in this world. Supersonic Dragon Vortex. 2 rapidly spinning whirlwinds appeared in Gina's hands. You brat, prepare to meet your end. Hearing this, Zhong Tianshun's temper flared up completely. Are you two going to keep bickering endlessly? Then, under the stunned gazes of the 2, they were slapped several times, and his words echoed in their ears. Can't you see I'm talking to a girl? Then he flung 2 stones. He sent 2 elite thieves of the Savage Bandits flying over 20 meters away. He said impatiently, bystanders should get lost early. I'm very busy. Aurora stared in astonishment at the scene. Is it over just like that? Those 2 guys were incredibly powerful. But then she heard Baiqing say, It's not over yet. There's still an important part to come. As the words fell, Zhong Tianshun summoned the Mirror of 1,000 Autumns to retrieve all the equipment from these two individuals. With a swift whooshing sound, all the equipment and clothing on the two individuals were instantly drawn into the Mirror of 1,000 Autumns. Seeing this scene, Aurora's face flushed with heat. The most crucial thing was actually to strip others of their clothes. After finishing with the others, it would be my turn next, wouldn't it? Zhong Tianshun turned around with his eyes gleaming. Aurora was so frightened by that glance that her hair stood on end. Please don't do anything reckless. Don't take off my clothes, there's nothing worth seeing. I beg you, let me go. This is my first time leaving the village, and I don't understand anything. I didn't intend to take off your clothes. I'm a decent person. After explaining his purpose, Aurora claimed she didn't have the mythical Sky Sect's artifact on her. However, Bai Qing could sense the artifact's aura emanating from her, and thus asked Aurora to carefully recall if she had eaten anything unusual. After thinking for a moment, Aurora replied, "No, not really. But all of us elves drink a kind of magical spring water, which is our well of vitality. It is said that it was the nourishment from this spring that gave birth to our elf race. By drinking the waters of vitality, not only can we eliminate spots, resist wrinkles and achieve fair, moisturized, firm and elastic skin, but it also calms the heart like still water while swelling the chest like surging waves. Upon reaching the appropriate age, the clan members will bathe in the spring. All who bathe in its waters become pregnant and give birth to new elves, which is why this spring has become our sacred relic." That's it. This spring must be connected to the artifact. She drank from the spring, which is why I can sense the aura of the artifact on her. Meanwhile, Zhong Tianshun's idea is to extract this spring water and sell it for profit. He must be making a fortune. Aurora continued, "Actually, the reason I came out this time is for the Well of Vitality. A few months ago, a group of demonic beasts took over our spring. Their fighting style is utterly despicable. They attack with bizarre tentacles. Once we get caught by those tentacles, we become completely weak and unable to continue fighting. These tentacle beasts are simply our nemesis. I came out this time specifically to seek reinforcements to eradicate the tentacle beasts. Your strengths are unfathomable. I wonder if you would be willing to save the elves from their dire predicament." Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun said with great determination, "Save them! We must save them! How could such a precious well of vitality be left to the tentacle beast?" Walking on the road, Bai Qing asked curiously, "Why have you been sneaking glances at Zhong Tianshun all the way?" Aurora said shyly, "Because our entire village of elves consists of women. I've never been this close to a man before, so I couldn't help but feel curious and took a few extra glances. Actually, none of us elves have ever seen a man before. If Zhong Tianshun enters the village like this, it might cause quite a stir. Should we consider disguising him?" Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun couldn't help but picture himself in disguise, and a shiver of disgust ran through him. "I'm here to help at your request. There's no need for all this secrecy. This is just how I look. If they want to stare, let them have their fill." A few minutes later, the three of them finally arrived at the legendary elf village. The sight that met their eyes was a sea of fair-skinned, beautiful women with long legs clad in black stockings. She was originally the most noble queen of the elves. She actually started drooling uncontrollably upon seeing a man. She even brought the man to her own room. She only wanted him to help her relieve her pent-up desires. Just moments ago, Zhong Tianshun and the other person were led by Aurora. Finally arrived at the legendary elf village. Looking around, the place is filled with fair-skinned, beautiful young women in black stockings. The elves also noticed that Aurora had returned, bringing two strangers with her. They stepped forward and inquired, "Your Highness, who are these two individuals?" "They are my saviors and the reinforcements I invited. They are incredibly skilled and will surely help us reclaim the Well of Vitality." "I see. However, that person over there looks quite different from us. Why is their chest so flat? Is it due to malnutrition?" Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun pointed at himself with an angry expression. "Flat? That's because I'm a man." As the words fell, the two elf girls couldn't stay calm. "You're a man. So this is what a man looks like." Hearing there was a man, the other villagers all rushed out excitedly. "Where is the man? I must see what this legendary man actually looks like. This is a once-in-a-century event. I absolutely cannot miss it." Upon seeing Zhong Tianshun's appearance, the elves began chattering excitedly. "Is this a man? He looks completely different from elves. He's really handsome. Men are such fascinating creatures. Just looking at him makes my heart race and my face blush. Why don't we let him stay in the village to keep us company? This lively scene of chirping and chattering actually managed to make Zhong Tianshun, who was notoriously shameless, blush with embarrassment. Bai Qing, standing nearby, teased, "Don't be shy. I never knew you were so popular." Oh. Just then Wandering Long suddenly dashed out and exclaimed excitedly, "Lovely Shun, you're really something. You actually brought me to such an amazing place." "This place is simply a paradise on earth," it said with a look of sheer delight on its face. Witnessing this scene, the elves were utterly astonished. A large, elongated object had grown on the man's body. "Incredible," they exclaimed. "Is this a unique ability possessed by men? Sisters, would you like to take a ride on me for a spin? No matter how many of you come, I can handle it. That thing looks majestic and grand, and it can even be ridden on. The wonders of men are truly numerous." Zhong Tianshun, standing nearby, couldn't hold back anymore and asked Bai Qing with a gloomy face, "If I kill this rebellious dragon, will the Wandering Longsword disappear?" At that moment a figure emerged from the crowd. This was none other than the Queen of the Elves, Lef. For 5,000 years, no man had been able to set foot in this place. Who would have thought that this ancestral taboo would be broken today? However, since they are here to help the elves, I suppose I can't really say anything. As she spoke, she wiped the drool from the corner of her mouth. Hearing this, Aurora was overjoyed. "That's wonderful. I knew you'd be the most understanding." Meanwhile, Zhong Tianshun whispered to Bai Qing, "Her sister seems a bit unrefined. She was actually wiping drool while looking at me earlier. Aurora, please take the guests to tour the village. I need to discuss with this man about reclaiming the Well of Vitality." After saying that, she brought Zhong Tianshun back to her room. Seeing this, Bai Qing grew a bit worried. This elf queen seems quite flirtatious. She deliberately sent us away. Could she be planning something inappropriate with Zhong Tianshun? On the way, Zhong Tianshun was extremely impatient. "There's no need to discuss tactics for a mere group of demonic beasts. Just take me straight to the spring, and I'll wipe out their nest. Take it easy. These demonic beasts are quite troublesome. We really need to go to my room and plan this out carefully." "You're so young yet so impatient. You must have a lot of fire in you," she said, as a glistening drop of saliva unconsciously trickled from the corner of her mouth. After entering the room, Lef immediately locked the door from the inside. "There were too many people outside earlier. I had to hold back for so long. Now it's finally just the two of us. You finally got your wish. Now, can we talk about reclaiming the Well of Vitality?" "That can wait. I have something more urgent. Actually, I'm quite furious too. Help me cool off first. I don't know why, but from the moment I first laid eyes on you I was captivated. My heart keeps pounding uncontrollably, as if we were destined to be together. Come on, let's not waste any more time. You must be just as eager, right?" As she spoke, her saliva unconsciously trickled down. However, upon seeing that Zhong Tianshun remained unmoved, Lef thought he preferred being passive. "In that case, I won't hold back." With that, she tore open Zhong Tianshun's clothes, revealing the 8-pack abs underneath. Amazing! Such refined muscle lines are simply as elegant as a work of art, making it impossible to look away. "I can't hold back anymore. I'm going to dig in," saying this as I lean in to kiss. But she was stopped by Zhong Tianshun. She calmly said, "You're so flirtatious." Then, with a wave of his hand, he threw Lef onto the nearby bed. He declared righteously, "I'm a decent person and don't have time to waste here with you. Farewell." After saying that, he turned to leave only to hear Lef shouting, "Come on, hit me. That slap you just gave felt so good. Keep going, I want more. Use all your strength to hit me, I love it so much." Hearing such a bizarre request, even Zhong Tianshun, who prides himself as the strip maniac, thought she was perverted. Lef quickly explained, "It's my first time experiencing such a thrilling feeling too. We elves may be stunningly beautiful, but we're bound to this small village for life, guarding the Well of Vitality, with no right to romantic love. It's all because of this Well of Vitality that my whole life is locked in place. I also want to go out and see the dazzling world. But as the queen, I have no choice but to shoulder the responsibility of protecting my people." Hearing this, Zhong Tianshun couldn't help but feel sorry for her. "Since you also think I'm pitiful, then come and fight me. Right now, you're the only one who can comfort me." Yet Zhong Tianshun firmly said, "No. The next second his eyes lit up as he stared at the yellow jade in Lef's hand. A piece of topaz worth a fortune. As long as you behave obediently, it's yours. Now you can get to work, can't you? Of course I'll give it my all. With that, he entered his explosive energy mode. For a moment, a series of slapping sounds echoed through the small room. The scene shifts to Wandering Long, who has now transformed back into his sword form. The elves nearby are astonished. The large, elongated object has turned into a magnificent sword. As a blade, Wandering Long proudly declares, "Not only that, but I can also take on the appearance of any demon core I've devoured." With a loud bang, Wandering Long transformed into a Tier 3 demonic beast, the Haunting Butler. The next second it transformed again into a Tier 5 demonic beast, the Obsidian Princess. Then he said with a lecherous grin, "Ladies, it's so hot outside. How about we go take a shower together?" But the girls turned him down because they wanted to bathe with Zhong Tianshun instead. Seeing this, Bai Qing was utterly speechless. That Wandering Long guy has absolutely no shame. Then he turned his head to look at the wooden house where Zhong Tianshun was, wondering how his conversation with the elf queen was going. A large amount of spiritual qi was overflowing from the room, accompanied by faint slapping sounds. Could it be that the queen was testing Zhong Tianshun by sparring with him? In that cramped room, what kind of thrilling battle was unfolding? Who would dare to be Zhong Tianshun's opponent? The elf queen must be filled with regret by now. Meanwhile, at the camp of the savage bandits on the other side, the bandits who had been beaten up by Zhong Tianshun earlier were exaggeratingly reporting his misdeeds to their leader. "That bastard's methods are extremely brutal, and he completely disregards you, Captain. I implore you, Captain, to step forward and uphold the dignity of our thieves' guild by cutting that scoundrel into 1,000 pieces and tearing him limb from limb." But the captain just looked at us with disdain and said, "To think you got beaten up like this by others, it's truly shameful. Look at yourselves, what part of you still resembles wild?" At that moment the only woman in the group spoke up. "Boss, it's not really our fault. That guy is just too shameless. Not only did he slap us in the face, he even took all our gear, stripping me of my favorite leopard print leather bodysuit. He saw every inch of my body. He's a pervert, a lecher, a complete degenerate. If he doesn't die, I'll never be able to show my face in public again." With a swift rustle, the leader sat up, his face darkening. "Gina is the flower of our savage bandits. Even I haven't seen her naked, and now someone else gets to enjoy that privilege. That lecher is even mingling with the elves. He must have been taken to the elf village by now." Upon hearing this, the captain's face twisted with jealousy. He even went after an elf? That's the prey I've been dreaming of. Blinded by jealousy, he leaped down from the tree. "Brothers, grab your weapons. Follow me to rid the people of this menace." Moments later, inside the elf village, accompanied by the sound of hurried footsteps, Aurora rushed into the queen's room in a panic and shouted, "Sister, something terrible has happened. A large group of invaders, members of the bandit gang, have followed my tracks into the forest. They're almost at the village now." Only then did she see the embarrassing scene unfolding before her. Instantly, her face flushed crimson and her heart raced uncontrollably. Then she shyly stepped back and said, "Sorry to interrupt, please carry on." The queen quickly blushed and explained, "Aurora, don't misunderstand. I was just testing this man's capabilities. This is purely academic exchange." The scene shifts to the woods outside Elf Village, where the leader of the thief gang is still rallying his subordinates to stay alert. "We're here this time to avenge Gina. Don't let the beauty of the elves cloud your judgment." As soon as the words were spoken, I saw the elves in front of me, all murmuring among themselves, "Are these guys even men? Why do they have such a big thing on their heads? It looks so ugly it doesn't make my heart race at all." One of the elf warriors warned them, "You invaders, if you dare take another step forward, don't blame us for being impolite." Upon seeing so many long legs, the team leader couldn't stop his nose from bleeding and exclaimed, "Elves truly live up to their reputation. All of you charge. Capture these elves and bring them back to the camp. I want to interrogate each one of them personally." Gina, standing nearby, was utterly speechless upon hearing these words. "I thought you said you were going to avenge me? Men are truly all big pig's feet." And the underlings all rushed forward with lecherous grins. At that moment the elf queen suddenly appeared and said, "You filthy creatures, how dare you even think of laying a hand on the elves?" As Lunar Eruption's voice fell, a golden pillar of light shot up into the sky. In just an instant, all the underlings were rendered unable to get up again. A bunch of worthless trash. Seeking death on your own. As she spoke, a trickle of drool dripped from the corner of her mouth. The war has begun. The Elf Queen and the leader of the Savage Bandits have finally started their battle. Due to the invasion by the Savage Bandits, interrupted the ongoing academic exchange by Lef, causing her to look resentful as soon as they met. She then unleashed a lunar eruption at the thief, but it was effortlessly blocked by the leader of the thief gang. Then he chuckled and said, as expected of the Elf Queen, so fiery. I like it. As he spoke, he concentrated all his telekinesis into his left hand. Then he stomped one foot. A massive boulder tore up from the ground. Savage straight fist. As the words fell, he punched the massive boulder into fragments, sending them sweeping toward the Elf Queen. Facing the rubble right before her eyes, Lef's staff glowed brightly as a massive arcane formation materialized behind her. The next second, several beams of energy shot out from it, shattering the rubble in front into pieces. However, those rubble pieces were just a diversion used by the captain to draw attention, while he had already stealthily approached Lef. Every mage has a fatal weakness: close quarters combat. The outcome is already decided. Boar strike, he said, as the phantom image of a wild boar materialized on his fist. Then he punched Lef squarely in the abdomen. I'm going to die. Saying this, Lef spat out a mouthful of blood. The next second her expression changed and she said with a grin, just kidding. As soon as the words fell, the whole person vanished instantly, leaving a substitute straw figure in their place. Then she appeared above the team leader. You think mages aren't good at close combat? Unfortunately, I'm an exception. As she spoke, the staff in her hand suddenly expanded. Holy Moonwheel dance. The massive staff crashed down, and the team leader couldn't withstand the impact, spitting out a large mouthful of blood. She gazed at the team leader lying unconscious in the crater. Lef said with a serious expression, even among S-class telekinetics, there are distinctions in strength. You've only just reached the threshold of S-class while I am at the peak of S-class. You're still far from my level. Then she shouted at the brawling band of thieves. Listen up, you filthy vermin. Your leader has been defeated by me. You have 5 seconds to vanish from my sight. This queen has no time to waste on you vermin. If you delay my important meeting with Zhong Tianshun, none of you will survive. As the words fell, the gang members scurried back in a flash. Run. If the boss has lost, what's the point of fighting? A moment later, after confirming that all the bandits had fled, Lef then said to Aurora, it seems some of our clan members are injured as well. Please use the Moonlight Flash Butterfly to heal them. Upon hearing this, Aurora gestured with one hand. Moonlight Flash Butterfly, Wind of Healing. As the words fell, countless butterflies glowing with green light swarmed toward the injured elves. So this is the Moonlight Flash Butterfly. Feels so soothing. Surrounded by them, I feel all soft and tingly, as if a continuous warm current is flowing through my body. The pain is completely gone now. This sensation is truly wonderful. Great, it seems there's nothing left for me to do here. Zhong Tianshun, let's head back to the room and continue. As she turned her head, she realized the two who had been standing there just moments ago had vanished without a trace. Lef was completely bewildered. Where's the man? Where did my man go? Meanwhile, on the side of the fleeing band of thieves, the leader, having regained his senses, was utterly disheartened. He never expected the elves to have a peak S-rank powerhouse. Spiketail comforted him. Don't lose heart, Captain. At least we've figured out the route to the elf village. The batch of slaves we recently seized in our camp hasn't been sold yet. As long as we return safely, we can sell them all off. Then we'll head to the black market to recruit some S-class or higher fighters, sharpen our weapons and make a strong comeback. We will definitely capture Elf Village in one fell swoop and make them bow down in submission. Suddenly, a voice interrupted the fantasy of the spiky-haired one. A thief is a thief, after all. A dog can't change its habit of eating dung. The Elf Queen has already spared you, yet you still dare to set your sights on the elves. You followed my tracks to find the Elf Village, didn't you? And you're here for revenge against me. In that case, I can't just stand by and do nothing. Hearing this, the captain felt his confidence surge again. Think you're all that, huh? If I can't beat the Elf Queen, does that mean I can't take you on? Never thought you'd actually walk right into my hands, he said, gathering power into his fist. With a sharp smack, The team leader was knocked to the ground by Zhong Tianshun before he could even react. I underestimated you. You really have some skills. It seems your victories over Gina and Mark weren't just luck. I'll have to bring out my true strength now. But inwardly he was on high alert. Is it because I'm too badly injured that I couldn't discern the pattern of his moves? From now on I must go all out to avoid any unexpected complications. With that thought, the team leader stood up and roared, "Let me show you the ultimate move of the strongest man in the Wild Thieves squad, Savage Beast Rampaging Fist." As he spoke, the phantom of a wild lion materialized behind him. A flash of sword light swept past. It turned out to be the impatient Zhong Tianshun, who struck early, interrupting his casting animation. Then, he looked at the thieves, who were stunned and speechless by the scene before them. With a sharp glare in his eyes he said, "You small fries, come at me all at once." After saying that, he flung the wandering long sword out. He manipulated the wandering long sword with threads of spiritual qi, making it dance through the crowd. After he had dealt with these thieves, Zhong Tianshun said with a serious expression, "Little fox, come with me to the thieves' headquarters." Bai Qing looked puzzled. "Are we going to rescue the slaves they captured?" Zhong Tianshun chuckled slyly. "And while we're at it, let's purify their ill-gotten gains by transferring them into my pocket." Meanwhile, Gina from the Thieves Guild got separated while fleeing and stumbled into a strange, eerie forest in a panic. While lost in thought, several tentacles suddenly reached out from behind. The tentacles wrapped around Gina before she could react. "It's so tight, my body is being squeezed to the point where I can barely breathe." Tentacle beast? Why do I always encounter such lewd enemies? Damn it, I'm almost at my limit. How could such a monster appear in the elves' territory? This is so embarrassing. Capturing prey. You look quite nutritious. At this moment, Gina only felt weak and powerless all over, completely unable to break free from the entanglement of the tentacles. She could only watch helplessly as the tentacles slithered all over her body, until she completely lost consciousness. And the tentacle beast, seeing her lose consciousness, immediately controlled its tentacles to prepare to devour her. "Hee, come quickly, become my nourishment." Creaking sounds could be heard one after another. A moment later, the tentacle beast chuckled darkly. "I'm full. This feels amazing. It's an honor for you to become part of my body." Tentacle metamorphosis. As it finished speaking, its entire body began to glow with a purple light. The next second, it transformed directly into Gina's appearance. "This body isn't bad at all, just my type." At the same time, Queen Lef of the Elves also sensed an unusual energy fluctuation near the Well of Vitality. She initially thought Zhong Tianshun had impatiently rushed to the spring. Her mind involuntarily conjured up an image of Zhong Tianshun entangled by tentacles. She couldn't help but break into a silly grin. Let's all go save Zhong Tianshun together." Aurora advised from the side. "Sister, we should prepare ourselves before going. After all, those tentacle beasts are our natural enemies." "Those tentacle beasts are indeed troublesome, but I can't worry about that now. Saving my man is what matters most." Other elves also chimed in. "That's right. Saving the man is what matters most. That man must not come to harm." The scene shifts to the Well of Vitality. Everyone was searching around for Zhong Tianshun. "Lovely Shun, where are you? I'm here to rescue you. Please come out quickly or I'll start to worry. The previous academic exchange wasn't enough for me. I'd like to delve deeper with you." Unaware, she had no idea that a group of tentacles was quietly emerging behind her. In the next second, the tentacles charged toward Lef with lightning speed. The tentacles tightly wrapped around the unsuspecting Lef. Gotcha. This woman is the queen of the elves. If I could devour her, we should be able to directly advance to the 5th tier. Turning around upon hearing this, Lef sneered disdainfully. "With such flimsy little tentacles trying to subdue me, isn't that just wishful thinking?" As he spoke, golden lightning traveled along the tentacles toward the main body, all under the tentacle beast's bewildered gaze. She shocked them until they were crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. Filthy and vulgar beyond measure. While the other elves are locked in a desperate struggle. No good. Even though they're just juveniles, there are too many tentacle beasts. If we keep getting entangled like this, we won't be able to hold out much longer. With those words spoken, an elf girl was accidentally caught by the tentacles. Her heart was filled with utter despair. Once the tentacle's entanglement formation takes shape, it becomes nearly impossible to break free. "Damn it, I really don't want to be eaten by this slimy tentacle beast." At this moment, Aurora was also caught by the tentacles. She deeply regretted it in her heart. Had they come too hastily after all? Now they were trapped in a circle of tentacles. One by one, the others were overpowered and captured by the tentacles as well. No matter how much you struggle, it's useless. This place is already the territory of our tentacle metamorphosis. It won't be long before we take over your village. By then, all of you elves will become our nutrients and part of the bodies of the tentacle kin. As they spoke, they couldn't help but imagine mimicking the appearance of the elves. But they were instantly crushed by a foot descending from the sky. The visitor turned out to be the elf queen Lef. We haven't settled the old score of her seizing the well of vitality, and now she has set her sights on our village? The other tentacle beasts, seeing this scene, instantly backed down. Nothing of the sort. It was all just that fool under your feet running his mouth. That won't do either. As the words fell, a golden bolt of lightning tore through the sky, like the wrath of a deity. Instantly, they tore the tentacle beasts into pieces. The rescued Aurora felt deeply guilty. I'm sorry, sister. We held you back when you were most concerned about Zhong Tianshun, and we became a burden. What nonsense are you talking? How could you be a burden? I am the queen of the elves, and protecting you is only natural. It is my foremost duty. But in her heart she was secretly fawning. Still, I feel Zhong Tianshun is a bit more important. Though it's a bit strange, it feels just like destiny. At that moment, a rustling sound interrupted Lef's daydream. The newcomer was none other than the tentacle beast, a tier 5 demonic beast. No wonder so many of my offspring were suddenly eliminated. It turns out the elf queen herself has taken action. You just showed a very thirsty expression. Is it the elves' mating season? The energy fluctuation just now, I thought you were fighting with Zhong Tianshun. Turns out you just picked up a lewd body, wasting my emotions for nothing. Then she soared into the air and added, I must also advise you to watch your words when speaking to me, your majesty. If I get angry, I'll blast you into grilled octopus. With that, she activated her staff and conjured a golden arcane formation in front of her. Divine Lunar Power Destruction Ray. A massive pillar of destructive energy shot toward the tentacle beast like a sharpened blade. Seeing this, the tentacle beast panicked. Starting with an ultimate move right away, without even testing the waters first? It hastily commanded all its tentacles to wrap around itself. With a thunderous boom, the bulging surface of the tentacle ball was blasted into a large crater. With such a powerful telekinesis output, if it weren't for our tentacle kin's self-healing ability, I would have been in serious trouble. Then it spread all its tentacles. My words can make you this angry. It seems I guessed right, you are in heat. Upon hearing this, veins bulged on Lef's forehead. Lowly creature, what do you know about love? Love is for the weak. We tentacle kin have no need for it, we only need to know your weaknesses. Acid Breath said this as it spewed a large amount of mucus from its mouth. Lef looked at the mucus on his body with disdain. Is this your ultimate move? What's so powerful about this sticky liquid? Underestimating my move will cost you. This isn't ordinary slime. Instead, it's a technique I specifically developed to deal with you elves. Can dissolve your clothes. As the words fell, Lef's clothes began to slowly dissolve. My black stockings are actually starting to tear. Tentacle kin's moves are truly despicable. It's just a shame that Zhong Tianshun didn't get to see me in this embarrassing state. From the perspective of the tentacle beast, she was already blushing with shame and trembling all over. It immediately declared, we're all women here. No woman could be so shameless as to fight naked. You elves stand no chance now. Let me intensify my efforts with continuous acid breath. As soon as the words fell, mucus sprayed in all directions as if it were free. The elves hit by it screamed in shock. How annoying. There's just too much of this sticky stuff. Their clothes gradually began to corrode as well. The clothes are almost gone and the body has started to tremble. How can we fight when we're restricted by something like this? I was just testing the waters and you can't even handle that. Then I won't waste any more time. Today, let the existence of elves become a legend. As the words 100-hand strike fell, a massive hand composed of hundreds of tentacles swept toward the elves. Faced with so many tentacles, Aurora felt utterly hopeless. It actually split into so many tentacles. How am I supposed to defend against this? With a swift swoosh, a streak of light cut through the air. All the tentacles were severed at the waist by Lef. Seeing this, Aurora was exhilarated. Truly worthy of my sister. This is the grace of the elf queen. Meanwhile, the tentacle beast broke out in a cold sweat, thinking, how could this be? Why can she still fight so recklessly? Based on the intelligence I've gathered and our previous encounters, they are an innocent, naive, and extremely bashful race. There's no way she could withstand my targeted offensive tactics. She wasn't like this when we fought before. What on earth has she been through during this time? Lef noticed her surprise and explained, "Your despicable and shameless tricks might have posed a threat to me before, but times have changed now. Since my in-depth learning and exchange with Zhong Tianshun, I have been completely elevated. Your trivial scenes can no longer confine me. Whether it's being entangled by tentacles or having my clothes corroded by slime, none compare to the comfort of Zhong Tianshun's palm striking me time and again. That overwhelmingly pure and forceful impact could make me feel genuinely bashful. It was the most exquisite experience of my life." These words left the other elves blushing deeply. And the tentacle beast even scolded outright, "Shameless! How can you represent the purity of the elves like this? You are a disgrace to the elves," it exclaimed, plunging both arms into the ground. Several tentacles shot through the ground toward Lef. "Since you enjoy being hit, I'll grant your wish." As the words fell, a loud sound was heard as several enormous tentacles burst from the ground, soaring into the sky, lashing towards Lef. But then, a golden light flashed by in an instant. All the tentacles were severed in one swift cut. Lef waved his staff with a look of disdain. "Such feeble attacks don't even deserve to be mentioned in the same breath as Zhong Tianshun. You're simply not worthy. The only one who can please this king is lovely Shun." Seeing this scene, the tentacle beast's worldview collapsed. There could actually be such a shameless woman in the world. I wonder which man could drive the elf queen to such madness. The other elves are even more envious. Has Zhong Tianshun already reached this stage with the queen? They can't help but wonder how his touch would feel on their own skin. At this moment, the elf queen said with a serious expression, "Your underhanded tricks no longer work on me. Now I can finally go all out without any restraint. The conflict between the elves and your tentacle kin shall be settled here today." With those words, she lifted her foot lightly and charged toward the tentacle beast with the force of a tiger descending the mountain. Meanwhile, the tentacle beast, feeling underestimated by Lef, was furious. "After all, I am a tier 5 demonic beast. How dare she look down on me? How despicable." However, her current momentum is too strong to confront head-on. Thinking this, it opened its mouth and spewed a cloud of black smoke, preparing to flee. And with a wave of the elf queen's staff, she struck the tentacle beast just before it could escape. Trying to run? Not so easy. That last strike definitely hit her. Following the principle of striking while the iron is hot, Lef leaped several times and caught up. You can't escape. Meanwhile, at the savage bandits' camp, with a single strike, Zhong Tianshun cut through the cage, imprisoning the slaves. At the same time, the chains on the slaves fell to the ground. The slave girl trembled as she spoke. "Are you our new master? We will obey you well. We only beg you not to beat us anymore. You can sell us wherever you wish. Is to sell us to a maid cafe for others' amusement, making us tools for our master to earn money. Or sell us to the nobility, completely reducing us to objects for their amusement. Or perhaps master intends to keep us by your side, slowly molding us into the form you desire." These words filled Bai Qing with deep compassion. What kind of torment must these slaves have endured to make them like this? What does Zhong Tianshun plan to do with them? These slaves must be quite valuable. He wouldn't possibly be thinking of. The next second, Zhong Tianshun interrupted her wild thoughts, saying, "You are free now. Go home quickly." Upon hearing this, the slaves all looked incredulous. "I don't understand. Does the master really mean to let us go home? Indeed, though I love wealth, I have no interest in money earned at the expense of my conscience. You may go." These words instantly filled Bai Qing with admiration. And the slaves cheered with joy, declaring, "From today onward, you are our savior, our reborn parents. Your immense kindness is something we will never forget. If fate allows us to meet again, we will serve you faithfully, even as beasts of burden, to repay your grace." Until the sun set behind the western hills, Zhong Tianshun finally finished gathering all the loot from the bandit gang. Bai Qing, who was nearby, noticed him staring blankly at the camp and curiously asked what was wrong. Had he forgotten something? There was still the most valuable item left behind. Isn't it a waste to leave such a large campsite unused? Upon hearing this, Bai Qing couldn't stay calm. Are you serious? With a resounding crash, Zhong Tianshun sliced off the entire mountaintop with a single sword strike. Then he spread his 5 fingers wide, and a silvery mirror-like space slowly began to manifest. Mirror of 1,000 autumns, capture it. Meanwhile, at the Well of Vitality. At this moment, Lev stared furiously at the miasma-shrouded Well of Vitality before him. How dare they defile our sacred Well of Vitality like this? This is absolutely unforgivable. Come out. I know you're hiding here. I will end you today. As the words fell, a gurgling sound arose. Thinking of ending me? I'm afraid it's not that easy. The next second, the drenched tentacle kin emerged from the spring water. This Well of Vitality can enable elves of the right age to give birth to new life. This miraculous effect also works on other female creatures. This is precisely why we tentacle kin are willing to go to any lengths to occupy this place. Hearing this, Lev flew into a rage. You bastard, so you've had your eyes on us from the very beginning. That's right. With the Well of Vitality, we can continuously strengthen the tentacle kin. One day, we will become the greatest demon race in the world. The elves possess such a treasure but have no idea how to use it. What a waste. It would be better off in our hands. The Well of Vitality is not something that turns people into baby-making machines. It is a sacred artifact that enabled the birth of the elves 5,000 years ago, the origin of elven life and the foundation of our faith. You, a shallow and vulgar creature, will never understand. This remark made the tentacle beast lose its composure. I'm not an elf, what do I care about your beliefs? Come forth, children of the tentacle kin. Tear this arrogant woman before me to shreds. As the words fell, the spring began to bubble with a continuous gurgling sound. Countless tentacle beasts emerged from the water one after another. The next second they all leaped up and charged toward Lev. And Lev remained calm in the face of the dense swarm of tentacle beasts. Her staff lightly tapped the ground. A golden circular barrier enveloped her. All the tentacle attacks were blocked by the barrier. It's useless. Facing such a powerful and dense onslaught, how long can your barrier hold? Once it shatters, you're finished. You seem to have misunderstood. This barrier isn't meant for defense. I said I'm going to kill you today, and I will definitely kill you. As she spoke, she channeled all her telekinesis into the staff, forming an arcane formation in the sky as massive as a mountain. The tentacle beast, originally confident of victory, couldn't help but feel a bit flustered. What kind of magic is that? How could there be such a massive arcane formation? Aurora, watching from afar, was overjoyed at the sight of the massive arcane formation. Is my sister finally going to unleash the elves' most powerful magic? Without us holding her back, she can finally show her true abilities. Zhong Tianshun and Baiqing also saw the enormous arcane formation. The elf queen refused to take me to the Well of Vitality, but now she's fighting the tentacle beast on her own while I'm away? That won't do, we must hurry back. If magic isn't violent enough, then it's meaningless. Now I'm the only elf here, so I can finally unleash magic without any restraint. You're doomed. As the words fell, a deafening boom echoed, and a colossal pillar of light descended from the sky. Seeing this, the tentacle beast remained defiant. I'm not afraid of that thing. Watch me block it. However, upon the slightest contact, all the tentacles turned to dust. The tentacle beast panicked immediately and shouted, "Wait, let's talk this over." Meanwhile, Aurora was rushing over without delay. All because Lunar God's elegy, despite being the most powerful magic of the elves, consumed an immense amount of telekinesis. Just like Megumin's explosion magic, after casting it, one ends up lying flat on the board. Sis is betting everything on this move, isn't she? Whether it succeeds or not, she's in the most danger right now. We must get to her side as quickly as possible. The scene shifts to the Well of Vitality. By now, the Well of Vitality has transformed into a deep pit spanning thousands of feet in all directions. Lev is extremely weak at this moment. I told you long ago, this barrier isn't meant for defense. This battle has been won by me, the king. As he spoke, his body swayed unsteadily due to weakness. The next second, she could no longer hold on and was about to collapse to the side. However, she was caught by the timely arrival of Zhong Tianshun in an extremely embarrassing position. Are you okay? This voice and this intoxicating touch. There's no mistake, my man is here. You're quite impressive, actually taking down the tentacle beast's nest all by yourself. Hearing this, Lev was overjoyed and said, "It's all because of the in-depth academic exchanges we had. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to withstand the tentacle beast's lewd moves." As she spoke, a glistening strand of drool unconsciously trickled from the corner of her mouth. Beside them, Baiqing couldn't stand it any longer and interrupted them, her face flushed bright red. Do you have to maintain this position just to talk? And Lef said with a look of enjoyment. What's the problem? I quite like talking this way, and I'm still very weak right now. With that, she turned around and tightly hugged Zhong Tianshun. I need to hold lovely Shun to rest properly. And Zhong Tianshun felt Lef's body pressing tightly against his little brother. He stammered. You're pressing against me. So how does it feel? Hearing such bold words, Zhong Tianshun averted his gaze and muttered, Not bad. Those words clearly struck a chord in Lef's heart. You appeared right after I defeated the tentacle beast. This must be the moon god's blessing upon me. If I don't seize this chance to hold on to you, it would be a sin against heaven's will. After saying that, she leaned in and kissed him directly. Beside them, Baiqing's heart raced and her face flushed as she witnessed the scene. What's going on with this elf queen? Does she think I'm invisible? At that moment, Aurora also rushed over, panting heavily. Sister, are you okay? I'm here to save you. Where's the tentacle beast? Has it been defeated already? After saying this, she finally saw the 18+ scene before her eyes. She also blushed deeply. It seems I've arrived a step too late. Is this what they call unrequited affection? At that moment, bubbling sounds gurgled from the well of vitality in the deep pit. The next second, a massive tentacle emerged from it. It was none other than the mother of the tentacle beast, which had evolved into a 6th-tier demonic beast. Damn those elves celebrating way too early. You haven't won yet. That last move must have exhausted you completely. Now it's my turn to shine. Baiqing and Aurora, standing nearby, felt the immense demonic energy and couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. Is this the true leader of the tentacle kin? Sensing danger, Lef had no choice but to break away from her passionate kiss with Zhong Tianshun. She grumbled resentfully. How annoying. Why is there always someone interrupting my good time? I am not yet satisfied. Can you bear the responsibility for this? As she spoke, a surge of telekinesis enveloped her entire body, poised to strike. However, Zhong Tianshun reached out and stopped her. You're already tired. Leave the rest to me. And Lef, gazing at this majestic figure, felt her heart flutter even more. So manly, lovely Shun. He stood up for me. This must be the legendary confession. It's absolutely wonderful. Lovely Shun, he has completely fallen for me. At this thought, her entire body trembled with even more excitement. Meanwhile, Zhong Tianshun looked at Lef, who was grinning foolishly beside him, and felt utterly speechless. It seemed she had imagined something bizarre. The neglected tentacle beast was utterly enraged. I am a dignified 6th-tier demonic beast, the progenitor of all tentacle beasts. I've tolerated your flirting in front of me, but now you dare to choose opponents against me? You clearly don't take me seriously at all. As the words fell, a swift whooshing sound was heard, and 3 thick tentacles shot towards Zhong Tianshun. A flash of sword light swept past. The 3 tentacles instantly halted right in front of Zhong Tianshun. The next second, dense sword marks appeared on the tentacles, which then shattered into pieces. At that moment, Zhong Tianshun looked arrogantly at the other party and said, So what if I don't take you seriously? Hit me if you dare. Aurora, witnessing this scene, was utterly shocked. What did Zhong Tianshun just do? I couldn't see it clearly at all. This is truly astonishing. And Lef was even more infatuated. As expected of the man I've set my eyes on, truly outstanding. In this well of vitality lies the artifact I desire. You're really in the way, you know. Just disappear, thousandfold azure slash. As his words fell, countless points of light emerged behind him. These points of light transformed into flying swords, charging towards the tentacle beast. It's just mere dark magic. I'm not afraid at all. Watch me block it. As it spoke, it mobilized all its tentacles to meet the attack. Upon contact, those incredibly tough tentacles were sliced through by the sharp sword as if they were made of paper. At this moment, the already riddled with holes tentacle beast was utterly shocked, wondering how there could be such immense power. I am 1 in 10,000, a 6th-tier demonic beast after all. But it's no problem. I possess unparalleled regenerative abilities. As long as I have a breath left, I can still. At that moment, Zhong Tianshun suddenly approached and interrupted its inner thoughts. It stammered and asked, What are you going to do? Zhong Tianshun replied with an extremely stern expression. Demonic beasts must be eradicated completely. As he spoke, his entire body's spiritual energy surged, condensing into small spheres encircled by lightning. With the words continuous shuttling thunder, he swung both hands forward. He manipulated all the lightning spheres and hurled them forward. The tentacle beast was unfazed by the sight. You startled me. I thought it was some incredible ultimate move, but such a tiny energy ball can't kill me. As long as a single piece of my flesh remains, I can survive. The very next moment it was proven utterly wrong. The shuttling thunder, which was just a tiny speck moments ago, instantly grew to an enormous size, accompanied by a roaring sound across the scene. Lef, witnessing this, exclaimed, "So huge, so fierce. I absolutely love it." Meanwhile, Aurora was utterly amazed. Incredible. The sixth-tier demonic beast couldn't even fight back. It truly shows there's always someone better beyond our sight, and skies beyond skies. Zhong Tianshun's strength is simply beyond imagination. After the explosion subsided, looking around, the area was pockmarked with craters, while the previously murky well of vitality had become crystal clear. This scene caused the onlooking trio to exclaim in astonishment repeatedly. Meanwhile, Lef was already imagining how exhilarating it would be if all that immense energy were unleashed upon him. At that moment, Zhong Tianshun gently tapped the water surface and said to the spring, "Come out. It's time to meet your master." As the words fell, the surface of the spring began to tremble violently. The next moment, a crimson bead burst through the water, clearly one of Zhong Tianshun's primordial spirit fragments. 5,000 years have passed, and I have finally waited for you. I thought I would never be awakened. Let us become one. As the red orb merged into Zhong Tianshun's body. At the same time, it informed him that this spiritual treasure was called the essence of the Great Yang, capable of providing the bearer with an inexhaustible supply of yang qi and energy. And it could emit an irresistible charm towards the opposite sex. The ability of this spiritual treasure is extraordinary. It must be utilized wisely. After the fusion was complete, Zhong Tianshun let out a sigh. He felt that his spiritual power had increased significantly, as if he were on the verge of a breakthrough. He couldn't help but marvel at the effects of merging with the primordial spirit fragment, truly remarkable. However, why does the name essence of the Great Yang sound so improper? An irresistible charm to the opposite sex? Is it really that powerful? With that thought, he turned back to look at the women. Bai Wan's pupils had turned into the shape of hearts as she murmured, "I am so happy to help lovely Shun obtain the celestial spiritual treasure. I have value by his side. Lovely Shun needs me." Aurora had also fallen under the spell. It turned out that what he was looking for was truly in the well of vitality. What a wondrous twist of fate. How could I ever repay him? Seeing this, even Zhong Tianshun, known for his shamelessness, couldn't help but blush. If even they were affected like that, the essence of the Great Yang truly has something to it. But where has the elf queen gone? She is, after all, the one most easily influenced. A man unexpectedly acquires a peach blossom physique. All members of the opposite sex desire to have in-depth conversations with him. Even the aloof and noble elf queen is no exception, to the point of being consumed by desire. Seeing this, the man had no choice but to helplessly declare that saving lives was the priority. Just moments ago, Zhong Tianshun finally integrated a fragment of the primordial spirit. Simultaneously, he also received the ancient spiritual treasure essence of the Great Yang, gifted by the fragment of the primordial spirit. This treasure enables its possessor to exude an irresistible charm to all members of the opposite sex. The moment Zhong Tianshun obtained the treasure, he suddenly had a bad premonition. He turned around to see the elf queen rolling on the ground. Why is there such a perfect man? Not only is he incredibly handsome, but he's also so powerful. The moment she recalled his heroic posture in battle just now, her little heart started pounding uncontrollably. She simply couldn't handle it. At that moment, Zhong Tianshun leaped gracefully in front of Bai Qing and the other woman, making their hearts flutter even more. "The first thing you did after the battle was to come find me? Isn't that a bit too straightforward? Helping you retrieve your spiritual treasure is simply my duty. There's no need to come thank me specially. You are the great hero of our village, and this is the only way I can repay you. Please do not hold back." As she spoke, Aurora assumed a posture of complete surrender. Bai Qing, also blushing deeply, murmured, "We've spent so much time together and you know how I feel. Are we finally taking that step now? Come on, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time." And Zhong Tianshun, faced with the two women's intense longing, he coughed dryly twice, his face flushed, and said, "I understand your request. I will do my best to fulfill it." However, before that, I still need to deal with the most troublesome one first. As he spoke, he pointed toward the back. The elf queen was now lying on the ground, looking unsatisfied and full of desire. The fragment of the primordial spirit within Zhong Tianshun explained. Queen Lef of the elves was inherently a being with intense desires. Now, under the influence of the essence of the great yang, it's like adding fuel to the fire. She's about to be consumed by desire. If we don't quickly help her release this heat, she's bound to explode if this continues. Only you can save her now. The choice is yours to make, and quickly. Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun declared with a firm gaze, if she hadn't met me, she wouldn't have ended up like this. All of this is my responsibility. A real man doesn't run from his duties, he said as he began to undress. He revealed his robust physique, with clearly defined muscle lines. The two women behind him, upon seeing this scene, felt a sudden warmth rushing to their noses. The next second, blood gushed from their noses like a fountain. And at that moment, Zhong Tianshun came up behind Lef. Hearing the sound, Lef turned around to look. Zhong Tianshun, completely naked, said to her, "It seems a bit inappropriate to be here in public. Let's find another place." The scene shifts to the interior of the Mirror of 1,000 Autumns. At this moment, Lef had regained a trace of rationality and began to wonder where he was and why lovely Shun was standing naked before him. The impact was simply overwhelming. Noticing that she had regained some clarity, Zhong Tianshun, who was standing nearby, informed her, "You're currently consumed by desire, and the only way to save your life is to help you release that fire." "Help you release the fire? I see you're here to reward me, right? Well then, I won't hold back." Mirror of 1,000 Autumns. Bai Qing and the other person stared at the mirror space, utterly puzzled. What are those two doing inside? With a swishing sound, several pieces of clothing flew out from within the Mirror of 1,000 Autumns. They landed squarely on Aurora's head. "This is my sister's black stockings. She was originally the little princess of the elves." Faced with the fire extinguisher aimed at a man's crotch, she too succumbed. Together with her sister, she began exploring the origins of life with the man. Just now, Queen Lef of the elves, affected by Zhong Tianshun's physique, is on the verge of being consumed by desire and exploding to death. Helpless, Zhong Tianshun had to bring her into his Mirror of 1,000 Autumns to help her release the burning desire. Meanwhile, outside the Mirror of 1,000 Autumns, Aurora and Bai Qing watched as stockings and skirts flew out from within. The two women couldn't help but let their imaginations run wild. A man and a woman alone in a room and both completely naked. They must be getting to that stage by now, they thought. Hearing the sounds coming from inside, Aurora blushed and remarked, "The battle in there seems pretty intense. All this commotion is making me want to join in too." Bai Qing was also filled with envy. "In order to absorb Zhong Tianshun's spiritual power, I've kissed him several times too. But I've never had such deep contact either. It's truly enviable. No, I can't just sit and wait. I have to take the initiative." With those words, she strode inside. Aurora, now left alone, hesitated anxiously. "What should I do? I want it too, but if I go in on my own it would be so embarrassing." Just then Lef's voice echoed from inside. "Right there, use all your strength to attack me. I can take it, I won't lose." Hearing this, Aurora could no longer stay put. "No, I can't keep waiting like this. I've never felt such a thrill before. I must pull myself together and seize the opportunity. I'm going in too." With that, she resolutely slipped inside. "Zhong Tianshun, I'm coming in now." Just as she entered, she was utterly stunned. So vast, so magnificent. Who would have thought that beyond such a narrow entrance lay such an expansive space? "Zhong Tianshun, this man is truly incredible. We must find them quickly. Zhong Tianshun has put in so much effort for us. We absolutely must repay him properly. As the elf princess, I must lead by example." After searching for a while, I finally detected Zhong Tianshun's presence in a corner. Upon seeing the scene before me, Aurora's eyes instantly sparkled with hearts. She trembled all over, and the next moment, she collapsed weakly onto the ground. Just watching was so intense. If I were to join in, it would be even more overwhelming. This is so difficult to handle. Just then, Zhong Tianshun's voice came through. "If it's hard to handle, then don't handle it." Hearing this, Aurora turned her head and saw Zhong Tianshun, completely naked, continuing, "This isn't a place you should have come to in the first place. I came to rescue your sister and seek to open the Mirror of 1,000 Autumns. You should go back." Yet Aurora's response was, "No, I don't want to leave. I want to stay and repay you properly." just like how the elder sister and the little fox did. Upon hearing this, Zhong Tianshun was astonished. The power of the essence of the great yang was truly terrifying. He feared his days ahead would be quite busy. The next day, all the members of the elves clan came over. They stared at the well of vitality in shock. It had been reduced to such a state. What kind of battle had taken place last night? At that moment, they also noticed the entrance to the Mirror of 1,000 Autumns nearby. What is this? They had never seen it before. Could it be a portal to another dimension? Come to think of it, they still haven't seen the Queen and Princess Aurora. Could they have been sucked into this interdimensional portal? Someone needs to go in and check. Let me do it. A voice rang out from the crowd. It was the elf who had been corroded by the tentacle slime last night. Here it comes. Right after Zhong Tianshun obtained the ancient spiritual treasure, essence of the great yang. The elf queen, affected by the aura of the spiritual treasure emanating from his body, was on the verge of being consumed by desire. Zhong Tianshun had no choice but to take her into the Mirror of 1,000 Autumns to help her release the burning desire. Outside, Aurora and Baiqing were growing restless. The two women entered the Mirror of 1,000 Autumns and engaged in a deep conversation with Zhong Tianshun. Until the next day, the clansmen of the elves came looking for their queen because she had not returned all night. Everyone faced the unknown interdimensional portal. The lead guard was the first to admit that she had held the queen back in last night's battle and insisted on making up for it today. As she spoke, she leaned down and ventured inside, silently praying that the elf queen would be safe, for without their queen the elves would be doomed. The next moment, upon seeing the scene before her, she instantly blushed crimson. And then even more emotionally she knelt down. The other elves were startled by this scene. What's wrong? What did you see? Why are you so excited that you knelt down? The chief guard couldn't handle the sight before him and stumbled back, trembling all over, exclaiming, "It's too overwhelming. This is a fairyland, a paradise." Seeing this, the other elves asked one after another, "What paradise? Have you lost your mind? What about Her Majesty the Queen and the Princess? Did you see them? Her Majesty the Queen and the Princess are both inside, along with that very handsome man. They were just in there." Before she could finish her sentence, she was interrupted by a figure. It was none other than the trembling elf queen. "I'm exhausted, Your Majesty. Lovely Shun is truly amazing. Every bone in my body feels weak. But this feeling is absolutely perfect. So comfortable." Aurora also walked out, supporting herself on her knees. "Ouch, my back feels like it's about to break. This sensation is just too bizarre. Although it hurts a bit, I'm so happy. Being able to have such precious memories with Zhong Tianshun last night makes my life worthwhile." Finally, Zhong Tianshun carried Baiqing out on his back. Baiqing, trembling, said, "You're just too amazing. I felt like I was about to die." And Zhong Tianshun retorted, "You're being way too dramatic. You can't even walk." "Not an exaggeration at all, because my constitution is quite sensitive, you know." That sentence made Zhong Tianshun blush instantly. At that moment, Lef interrupted them. "Little fox, don't think you can keep hogging lovely Shun all to yourself. It's my turn to be carried next, after all. I was the one who put in the most effort last night." Seeing the queen and her companions emerge safely, the other clansmen are overjoyed. Wonderful. Both Her Majesty the Queen and Her Highness the Princess are safe and sound. Even the men have been found and brought back. Upon seeing Zhong Tianshun clearly, the other clansmen all blushed and exclaimed, "That man seems to have become even more handsome." Hearing the voices, Zhong Tianshun glanced in their direction. Just one glance made their hearts race and left them restless with the illusion that Zhong Tianshun had taken a liking to them. Right at that moment, an elf interrupted the strange atmosphere in panic, exclaiming, "Your Majesty, it's terrible. Although the Tentacle Beast clan has been wiped out, our Well of Vitality has also lost its blessing." Hearing this, Lef stared at the Well of Vitality, now devoid of any spiritual energy, her expression turning grave. How could this be? It has truly lost its power. Without the blessing of the spring water, how will our elves reproduce? She then turned her head to look at Zhong Tianshun. Could it be that the responsibility of continuing our lineage falls upon? Understanding Lef's implication, Zhong Tianshun was left utterly speechless. This man in front of me was only here in the elf village to search for treasure. But he was held back by the elf queen, who insisted he stay. Because the Well of Vitality, on which the elves rely for reproduction, suddenly lost its effect, The man who had just battled fiercely with the queen all night became highly sought after. Just now, the elf queen learned that the well of vitality had lost its blessing. While she spoke of how the elves would manage their future reproduction, her eyes kept gazing ambiguously at Zhong Tianshun. Baiqing on the back protested. Why are you all staring at Zhong Tianshun? Do you really intend to leave the task of continuing the lineage entirely to lovely Shun alone? With so many elves counting on him alone, are you trying to exhaust him to death? Hearing this, Lef put on a pitiful expression and said, We elves are fair, big and adorable. Lovely Shun surely wouldn't have the heart to let the elves go extinct, right? How about you stay in the elf village for good? We all need lovely Shun so much, especially me the king. Upon hearing the suggestion to stay long-term, Zhong Tianshun immediately responded, But I'm very busy. Baiqing also chimed in, That's right, lovely Shun. He carries an important mission and can't possibly stay here all the time to help you create little elves. Besides, it would wear him out. Hearing this, Aurora looked disappointed and said, What a pity. Can you really not stay? And Lef, with tears in his eyes, said, My fate with lovely Shun must not end here. I've even thought of names for our children. The other elves were even more heartbroken, asking, Is our savior going to abandon us? Seeing this, Zhong Tianshun fell silent for a moment. Perhaps I have a way to restore vitality to the well of vitality. Lef suddenly had a wild idea. What's the method? Could it be that the two of us are going to bathe and cultivate together in the well of vitality? Using the immense energy released by the two of us in the well of vitality to rejuvenate it. Yes, that must be it. However, Zhong Tianshun replied, It's not what you think. I need to perform an ancient and traditional ritual, which must be conducted in an absolutely private setting. Please return to Elf Village and wait patiently. You must not peek under any circumstances. After everyone had left, Zhong Tianshun gazed at the well of vitality, pondering, influenced by the essence of the great yang, the well of vitality has generated blessings. Elves were thus born, yet they remained unaware of the cause and effect behind it. However, as a reward for granting them life, the elves have also worshipped and protected the essence of the great yang for 5,000 years. Although I am only taking what rightfully belongs to me, I cannot stand by and watch them face extinction. Meanwhile, in the dense forest nearby, Lef peeked furtively from behind a large tree, trying to see what kind of ritual was being conducted so mysteriously. And Baiqing also leaned out, curious to see what ritual was revitalizing the well of vitality. At that moment, Lef turned his head to look at Baiqing and said, Didn't lovely Shun emphasize that no one is allowed to peek? Why are you still sneaking a look? Baiqing retorted, You're no different. Lef immediately turned his head away. Forget it, I won't argue with you. But you have to keep it a secret that we were peeking at lovely Shun. Baiqing similarly responded, Of course, that goes without saying. At that moment, Zhong Tianshun made a move that made Lef blush instantly. She exclaimed, Lovely Shun is taking off his clothes. So thrilling. The man simply released a massive black dragon. It made the noble elf queen's heart race with excitement. She couldn't help but wish for the man to punish her immediately. Just moments ago, Queen Lef of the elves and Baiqing hid behind a large tree, secretly watching how Zhong Tianshun revitalized the well of vitality. Under the gaze of the two women, their faces flushed with embarrassment, Zhong Tianshun took off all his clothes. Then he closed his eyes, focused his breath, and channeled the spiritual energy throughout his body. The next second, he abruptly opened his eyes and let out a loud shout. A pure black dragon soared into the sky. Watching the black dragon circling in the air, Lef exclaimed inwardly, The great black dragon lovely Shun actually summoned such a colossal creature. Its majestic form truly commands my utmost respect. Meanwhile, Baiqing was shaken by the black dragon's aura. It's enormous. This massive being radiates such powerful vitality that even a single glance makes my whole body tremble uncontrollably. Lovely Shun is gradually transferring her power to the black dragon. This force is truly earth-shattering and awe-inspiring. It won't be long before the black dragon erupts. Let lovely Shun's power complete the ritual for you. The two women simultaneously showed expressions of anticipation. As the black dragon's energy transfer was completed, its eyes suddenly lit up. It opened its mouth and released a red energy beam. It shot straight into the well of vitality. The well of vitality, having absorbed this surge of power, immediately began to rise. In the next moment, the spring surged forth like a massive wave. With a resounding slap, All the nearby woods were instantly submerged by the surging spring water. At that moment, Lef sat in the water with an expression of disbelief. There was simply too much water. Even I, the king standing far away, am already soaked through. This is no longer a spring, but a raging flood bursting forth. This current contains immense vitality. Merely getting wet, I can feel countless lives flowing here. Is this the ability brought by that spiritual treasure? Truly remarkable. At that moment, Zhong Tianshun leaped in front of Lef and said, "It's done. Your well of vitality has been restored to its original state. However, the blessings of this spring likely have a limited duration. If too much time passes, they may expire. When that happens, I can simply perform the ritual once more." Well, thanks to you elves, we managed to avoid this catastrophe of extinction. You truly are the savior of the elves. Meanwhile, Bai Qing chimed in sarcastically, "More than just a savior, he's practically your creator." At that moment, Zhong Tianshun said with a serious expression, "Let's put aside the matter of the savior for now. I believe I mentioned that no one is allowed to peek during my ritual, didn't I? The most crucial aspect of this ritual is privacy. If it were to be interrupted, the consequences would be unimaginable. I'm sorry I peeked because I was worried, but I never thought I'd almost cause a disaster. Lovely Shun, if you're angry because of this, please punish me." Upon hearing about the punishment, Lef quickly stepped in front of Bai Qing and said, "I'm the mastermind behind the peeking. The little fox is innocent. If anyone should be punished, it should be me. Come on, isn't your black dragon quite impressive? Summon it again to punish me." As she spoke, a glistening strand of drool trickled from the corner of her mouth. "My sins run deep, and I deserve to be severely punished. Please don't hold back on my account." The cold and noble elf queen before my eyes. She actually enjoys secretly watching men bathe. After being discovered, she even proactively asked the man to spank her. At this moment, Lef looked at Zhong Tianshun with eager eyes and said, "Come on, isn't your big black dragon very powerful? Use it to punish me hard, my lord. No matter what punishment it is, I can endure it." And Zhong Tianshun understood at that moment. Previously, in the Mirror of 1,000 Autumns, there were too many people to satisfy Lef. It seems it's time to teach her a lesson and make her remember. He spread his big hand and smacked it right on Lef's butt. With the sound of spanking, Lef couldn't help but show an expression of enjoyment. "Yes, just like that. Hit me hard. I deserve this punishment for not listening to lovely Shun. I have always longed for this kind of punishment." This made Bai Qing, who was standing nearby, blush deeply. Meanwhile, Lef kept on saying, "Come on, lovely Shun, discipline me harshly. Mold me into the version you desire, and let me remember today's lesson forever." After a round of intense punishment, Zhong Tianshun looked at Lef, who was lying on the ground trembling uncontrollably, and asked, "How was that? Was the punishment intense enough this time?" Fully satisfied. Completely and utterly satisfied. From now on, this king will obey lovely Shun in all matters and properly accept the training lovely Shun gives me. Beside them, Bai Qing trembled as she complained, "If you want to punish the queen, just punish her properly. Why drag me into it too? I can't even stand up now." Hearing this, Zhong Tianshun said sheepishly, "Sorry, I got too carried away just now. I was so into it that I couldn't help myself." Yet deep down he pondered, "I used to be quite indifferent to matters between men and women, but now it seems different. Is this also an effect of the essence of the Great Yang? Including the essence of the Great Yang and myself, there are still 7 fragments of the primordial spirit scattered. The little fox and I must set off as soon as possible." Lef seemed to sense his intention to leave and approached, saying, "Lovely Shun, please don't abandon me, okay? I know it's not realistic to keep you here in elves, but I just want to be with you. I'm not happy being the elf queen. I want to leave the village and explore the outside world with you. Lovely Shun, please take me away with you." Hearing this, Zhong Tianshun could tell she genuinely wanted to go with him. Without hesitation he said, "Since you've made your decision, come with me." Bai Qing asked with concern, "But if you leave, what about the elves? Without their queen, won't the elf village be left without a leader?" Lef replied, "There's no need to worry about that. I already have someone in mind to succeed me as queen. That would be Aurora. Not only is she kind-hearted, but she also has a strong sense of responsibility. She is exceptionally talented, highly capable, and deeply trusted by her clan members. Aurora is absolutely worthy of the position as the elf queen." Meanwhile, deep in the demon realm on the other side, a figure emerged. shattering the tranquility of this place. The newcomer was none other than the imposing demon god of the current era. And the one he sought was precisely the master of this place. The 8th-tier demonic beast Skeleton King. The Skeleton King slowly opened his mouth and said, "What brings you here, you fool? Are you here to offer your soul and become my subordinate?" The demon god sneered disdainfully. "Become your subordinate? You've got it backwards. I'm here to make you submit to me. How dare you boast so shamelessly? Do you even know who I am to dare spout such arrogant words here? The battle has begun. The battle has begun." Demon Realm's supreme demon god and the 8th-tier demonic beast Skeleton King. Their battle is finally about to begin. Just now the demon god found the Skeleton King and gave the ultimatum: submit or die. As an 8th-tier demonic beast, the Skeleton King instantly flew into a rage, roaring, "Arrogant brat, do you have any idea who I am? I am the 1 in a million 8th-tier demonic beast, the Skeleton King who commands death itself." And the demon god calmly replied, "I know. If you weren't somewhat capable, I wouldn't have come personally. Submit to me, and you shall live. It seems you still haven't grasped the situation. Look at the bones beneath your feet. They were all like you, foolishly attempting to challenge me, be it demonic beasts or brave heroes. The fate of those who challenge me is to become withered bones trampled by all, and you will be no exception." As the words fell, one by one skeleton soldiers emerged from beneath the withered bones. This is none other than the Skeleton King's signature move. Death Summon Sea of Skeletons. Skeleton soldiers tear him apart. With a swift whoosh, countless skeletons lunged toward the demon god. The demon god was soon submerged in the sea of skeletons. The next moment, crimson demonic energy erupted. All the skeletons were shattered into pieces by the overwhelming demonic energy. The demon god, enveloped in a shield, disdainfully remarked, "Trash will always be trash. I didn't come here just to crush a few skeleton soldiers. I came to conquer you, Skeleton King. If you don't give it your all, you won't even have the right to submit to me." Seeing this, the Skeleton King finally got serious. "Since you're asking for death, I'll grant your wish." As the words fell, all the withered bones were drawn by the demonic energy, flying toward the Skeleton King. "I have roamed freely here for hundreds of years. These countless bones scattered across the ground are not just proof of my victories, but also the source of my power. Open your eyes wide and behold my ultimate form." As the words fell, the giant skull had already transformed into a humanoid skeleton. Indeed, this is the Skeleton King's ultimate form, Supreme Necromorph. How about that? You see this form of mine? Still feeling cocky now? However, the demon god's attention was drawn to the red demonic orb within its chest. A faint smile instantly appeared on his face. Corruption demonic artifact, Death Orb. So it really is here after all. Hearing this, the Skeleton King was dumbfounded. "What Death Orb? Wasn't I your target?" The next second, his body involuntarily knelt down. At this moment, the Skeleton King looked horrified and exclaimed, "What on earth did you do to me? Why can't I control my body?" Meanwhile, the demon god took out the Dominus Cube and explained, "This is the corruption demonic artifact, Dominus Cube. It can dominate the minds and bodies of all demon races, making them willingly serve as my subordinates. Even humans with demonic inclinations cannot escape its control." The Skeleton King was filled with resentment at this moment. Damn it, how despicable. Are you only capable of winning by relying on the demonic artifact? In a fair fight, you wouldn't stand a chance against me. You seem quite defiant. As a loser, anything you say sounds like an excuse. Don't you understand the simple truth that the victor is always right, and the loser always wrong? If you win, whatever you say is correct. As the words fell, the Dominus Cube in hand began to turn. The Skeleton King was immediately mind-controlled. "Greetings, Master. It is my great honor to serve you." The man was originally the brave warrior who pulled out the holy sword. Now, however, he has appeared on the Demon Hunter Association's bounty list. Simply because the man defeated the S-class experts of the three great families. And he even stripped the only female among them naked. Just now, the Elf Queen, having endured a full day of Zhong Tianshun's ordeal, she became completely devoted to him. She even went so far as to follow Zhong Tianshun. She also intended to pass the throne to Aurora. Meanwhile, at the Demon Hunter Association office in Pharaoh City, Zhong Tianshun and Baiqing have both been placed on the Demon Hunter's bounty list, accused of killing Jenny Parappa Allen and Carl from the Four Noble Houses, and have since fled to escape punishment. At this moment, inside the demon hunter's hall, Catherine and Male were vigorously arguing in defense of Zhong Tianshun. I, Male, on behalf of the Order of the Holy Cross, vouch for the brave Zhong Tianshun. I request the association to revoke the bounty and reinvestigate the incident. I, Catherine, also vouch for the brave Zhong Tianshun on behalf of House Steve. He would never stoop to such deeds, let alone flee from the consequences. However, the association official Beers calmly stated, I understand how you feel, but please try to remain calm. Now all the evidence points towards Zhong Tianshun. Even if he is not the murderer, he must have a significant connection to their deaths. Especially since Jenny and Carl were stripped of all their clothes, the scene was extremely vulgar. Who else in Pharaoh City besides Zhong Tianshun would do such a thing? At this point her expression darkened. More importantly, we lost 3 S-class telekinetics at once. Do you know what that means? Upon hearing that Zhong Tianshun had stripped Jenny of her clothes, Catherine immediately blushed and remarked that this was indeed in line with his character. Meanwhile, Male's heart raced as he commented that the battle scene was extremely vulgar. Just how vulgar is it? I really want to see for myself, he exclaimed. Meanwhile, Beers stared at the two in disbelief. Are you kidding me? Did you miss the point of what I said? Was I even focusing on whether it's vulgar or not? Xingku is an S-class telekinetic from Pharaoh City's 4 noble houses, and there are as many as 3 of them. Even if Zhong Tianshun did not kill the 3 of them outright, it would still be quite remarkable for him to escape unscathed from their joint attack. This indicates that his power has surpassed S-class, and his existence poses a significant threat to the Witchers Association. This bounty order is a decision made by the upper echelons of the association, and I have no authority to revoke it unless he agrees to serve the association. These words left the two speechless for a long time. After leaving the association, Catherine couldn't help but complain. Expecting Zhong Tianshun to join the association in order to have the bounty revoked was simply impossible. Male also chimed in. Exactly, he's as mysterious and free as the wind. I can tell from his eyes that he's the kind of man with unwavering determination. He would never stoop to begging the association to withdraw the bounty. That would be far too undignified. Hearing this, Catherine let out a sigh. Thinking back to that night, they had already gone that far with Zhong Tianshun. At that time, the two of them were so intimate. But when I woke up the next day, I was still left alone in bed. I really miss Zhong Tianshun. What is he doing now? Is he thinking of me too? Meanwhile, in Elf Village, Zhong Tianshun was helplessly enjoying the affectionate attention from the elf girls. As the former queen of the elves, she actually, after the new king's coronation ceremony, publicly engaged in intimate relations with a man. Just now, at the coronation ceremony of the new elven king, 2 elf girls drawn by Zhong Tianshun's masculine aura, found themselves uncontrollably leaning toward him. A helpless Zhong Tianshun had to remind them, your queen is in the middle of the handover ceremony. Isn't this a bit inappropriate right now? Hearing this, the 2 elf girls turned their heads and agreed. That makes sense. I was too hasty. With the new king's coronation today, we should indeed exercise some restraint. At the coronation ceremony, Lef stated that after the battle with the tentacle beast, he had deeply realized his shortcomings and needed to go out for training with lovely Shun. The throne of the elves, I can only entrust it to you with peace of mind, Aurora. Are you ready to wear this crown? I am ready. I will dedicate my all to the elf village and will never let everyone down. To bear the crown, one must bear its weight. I hope you understand its significance. From this day forward, you are the queen of the elves. Aurora humbly accepts her sister's guidance. The crowd below also began shouting Aurora's name loudly. Seeing this scene, Lef said with relief, it seems everyone has accepted you. My mission is accomplished and next I'm going to train with lovely Shun. Upon hearing this, Aurora was startled and said, so soon? At least stay for a meal before you go. Not possible. My training with lovely Shun is urgent. We can't afford to waste a single moment. As she spoke, a trickle of drool unconsciously escaped the corner of her mouth. Then she stomped 1 foot down. She vaulted over the railing and leaped toward Zhong Tianshun. Meanwhile, Zhong Tianshun stared blankly at the scene. He exclaimed that his life was now complete. The next second, a loud thud was heard. Aurora asked with a worried expression, Sister, are you okay? You don't seem quite right. Lef, trembling as she lay on top of Zhong Tianshun, replied, it's nothing serious. The previous battle was too intense, and it left me a bit weak. My legs gave out for a moment, that's all. And Zhong Tianshun suddenly felt uneasy, because with Left pressing down on him like this, the effects of the essence of the Great Yang were about to act up again. How strange. My body, which had just felt weak and sore, is now growing increasingly restless. Pressed against lovely Shun, I feel the energy inside me continuously surging. Aurora sensed that the atmosphere was growing increasingly unusual. The scene felt somewhat familiar. Now all the elves were gathered here. If the situation escalates like it did that night, it will become uncontrollable. I've just ascended to the throne and already faced such a huge challenge. No, I must lead by example and prevent the situation from escalating. At this moment, Left looked at Zhong Tianshun with affectionate eyes and said, "Lovely Shun, be honest with me. Did you do something to me that made me like this? Why is it that every time I touch you, I feel so happy I can't help myself?" "I didn't do anything. I can't control it either that you feel this good. My self-control isn't what it used to be. I can't even hold myself back anymore. If you don't get off me soon, the consequences could be serious." Upon hearing this, Left directly straddled him and said, "Is that so? This position makes me so shy. You're so naughty, I love it." Seeing this, Zhong Tianshun's veins bulged. "You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? You're playing with fire. It seems I need to teach you a proper lesson. She is the new queen of the elves. She actually knocked everyone out on the day of her coronation. She did it all just to have the man all to herself." Just moments after Left passed the throne of the elf queen to Aurora, he immediately and urgently pinned Zhong Tianshun to the ground. Zhong Tianshun, sensing that the essence of the Great Yang was about to go out of control, quickly urged her to get off. Yet she refused to listen. Instead, she straddled over Zhong Tianshun's little Zhong Tianshun. Seeing this, Zhong Tianshun, who had already been holding back until his veins bulged, decided to teach her a proper lesson. Hearing about the punishment, the other elves turned their heads and expressed, "What kind of punishment? We'd love to experience it too." Hearing this, Zhong Tianshun could no longer hold back, his eyes glowing red as he said, "You brought this upon yourselves." Seeing the situation turning unfavorable, Bai Qing quickly warned, "Lovely Shun Left, both of you need to restrain yourselves. This is not the time for such actions. This is the sacred succession ceremony of the elves' queen. You must not ruin this crucial moment for the elves." As she spoke, she realized she was also affected, feeling utterly desperate inside. "It's over, I think I'm falling too. Lovely Shun has already lost control. Who can stop all this?" Just then, several purple butterflies suddenly flew out in front of her. Bai Qing was wondering where the butterflies had come from when she suddenly felt a wave of drowsiness wash over her. The next second, she collapsed to the ground and fell asleep. The other elves also fell to the ground one after another, sound asleep. It turned out that these butterflies were all sleep butterflies summoned by Aurora. Even though she was also feeling weak all over and restless inside at that moment. But as the elf queen, she had to restrain her desires to protect everyone. Even if it costs her own body, she must stop her sister and lovely Shun here. And Left, watching the moonlight flash butterflies fluttering around him, was somewhat puzzled. What is Aurora trying to do? Her sister is busy right now. "Don't come and cause trouble," she said, yawning incessantly. Then she simply fell asleep right where she was. Before falling asleep, she was still thinking, "I mustn't fall asleep. I'm still waiting for lovely Shun's punishment. I want to be punished by lovely Shun." At this moment, Aurora trembled as she looked at the elves who had already fallen asleep. Her anxious heart finally settled. This could be considered preventing the situation from escalating. Although my mind was filled with strange images related to lovely Shun, I still succeeded. Suddenly, a strange feeling surged in my heart. I can't hold on anymore. My chest is getting hotter, and my body is trembling uncontrollably from weakness. Am I supposed to bear all the charm that lovely Shun radiates alone? But it's okay, my morpho is about to hypnotize lovely Shun. I just need to hold on a little longer and everything will be fine. Just as I was thinking that, I saw Zhong Tianshun walking over. "Your sister has lured me to this point, yet you've put them all to sleep. What am I supposed to do now? In my current state, shouldn't you be the one to take responsibility?" Seeing this, Aurora was shocked. Moonlight Flash Butterfly actually failed to hypnotize lovely Shun. His current aura is completely different from before. His intense gaze is fixed on me, as if he wants to devour me. It's exactly the same as that night. Is this the pressure a queen has to bear? Why aren't you speaking? Are you trying to evade your responsibilities? As a queen, your awareness should go beyond this, shouldn't it? Hearing this, Aurora stood up hesitantly and said, "Don't misunderstand me. I won't shirk my responsibility. This situation was entirely caused by my sister and me. I will absolutely take responsibility and bear the full brunt of your anger. But before that, I have one small request. Even though everyone is asleep, I still feel a bit uncomfortable here. Can we move to a more private place? Of course, anywhere you prefer, I can accommodate you. And it's absolutely private." As she spoke, the mirror of 1,000 autumns slowly emerged from behind Aurora. She was originally the new queen of the elves. In order to protect the purity of her people, she willingly offered herself to a man. Just moments ago, Zhong Tianshun was teased by Lef to the point of losing control. His own charm was no longer suppressed, attracting all the opposite sex around him. Seeing the situation turning unfavorable, Aurora immediately cast a spell. She made everyone fall asleep. She thought she could successfully avert the crisis. Little did she expect that magic would have no effect on Zhong Tianshun. Watching Zhong Tianshun on the verge of being consumed by desire, Aurora immediately decided to extinguish the flames with her own body. The time lasted until the evening. At this moment, Lef was still having sweet dreams. In the dream, she was happily together with the man she loved, sharing tender moments. The thought of being able to receive Zhong Tianshun's punishment anytime, anywhere made her feel even more exhilarated. This is my ideal life. As she opened her eyes, she saw a sky full of stars. Lef was instantly bewildered. What's going on? Wasn't I just on a date with lovely Shun? After a moment, she realized that she had just been having a wet dream. I remember before I fell asleep, lovely Shun was about to punish me. Where is lovely Shun? Where did he go? If we hurry, we might still be able to continue. At that moment, she noticed Baiqing not far away, panting softly. Why is your face so red? Could it be that you also had a dream about lovely Shun? Hearing this, Baiqing replied guiltily, how could that be? I'm not that kind of shameless person. Only you would do something like that. Hearing this, Lef was displeased. What do you mean by that? Are you mocking me for being a promiscuous woman? Meanwhile, Baiqing replied with a serious expression. Whether it's promiscuous or not doesn't matter. As long as it makes lovely Shun happy, I'm willing to do anything. At that moment, a spatial fluctuation caught the attention of both of them. The next second, a trembling Aurora walked out from within. Seeing this, Lef was utterly confused. Aurora, why did you come out from there? Isn't that lovely Shun's alternate dimension? Aurora had made a mistake. As she spoke, her legs gave way and she knelt weakly on the ground. Lovely Shun? He punished me severely. Aurora knows she was wrong. I shouldn't have interfered with lovely Shun. I won't dare to act on my own again. Lovely Shun is the reborn parent of our elves, our great benefactor. We elves should revere him as a deity and follow his every command without question. Seeing this, Baiqing couldn't help but sigh. She can't even stand up anymore. Looking at her like this, she has been completely conquered by lovely Shun. And Lef was filled with envy. Wasn't that punishment supposed to be mine? How did it turn out like this? I'm so jealous of Aurora. Then, Zhong Tianshun's voice came from behind. Your awareness is quite commendable. It seems you have truly reflected on yourself. My efforts in guiding you have not been in vain. I have thoroughly confirmed that you are well qualified to inherit the throne of the Elf Queen. I believe your sister can now entrust the village to you with peace of mind. Hearing this, Aurora felt a secret joy in her heart. Great! Lovely Shun praised me, she thought. Aurora felt so happy and resolved. I will definitely govern the village well. Then Zhong Tianshun said to Baiqing and Lef, with the matters of Elf Village now arranged, it's time for us to set off. At the same time, on a small hill somewhere, 3 villains were discussing their plans for the next day. They were planning to wreak havoc in the village at the foot of the mountain. Unbeknownst to them, a dark figure was standing on a branch not far away. This person turned out to be the notorious greatsword Fyra, one of the infamous S-class bounty hunter trio known as the Filthy Brothers. They were wanted by the association with a bounty of 10,000 spirit coins per head for crimes including arson, murder, robbery, and the violation of women. I'm gonna strike it rich this time. As a hunter, one should hide in the darkness, observe every move of the prey, hold one's breath, and wait patiently for the right moment. Strike the moment the prey reveals a flaw, swift as lightning, lethal without a trace. Now is the moment. with a single step of her foot. You filthy trio, your heads are mine for the taking. Perish all of you. With a deafening boom. In an instant rubble flew and smoke billowed. Oops, I got a bit too excited at the sight of prey and couldn't help but shout out. This once again contradicts my theory of hunting. What a headache. I'm really sorry you had to see such an awkward situation. Then I'm afraid I'll have to trouble you all to die. As she spoke, she assumed a fighting stance. Seeing this, one-eyed man offered a candid assessment. This woman seems quite capable, but her mind doesn't seem all there. The irritable man also assumed a fighting stance and said, as if anyone here has their head screwed on right. Someone's here for a fight, so let's just fucking do it. Pervert man charged forward without hesitation. On such a lonely night, a busted girl had actually come knocking. This was just too. He hadn't even finished speaking. He was sent flying by Fyra's powerful swing of her greatsword. Meanwhile, she muttered under her breath, 10,000 in the bag. The next moment, irritable man also charged over. Don't get too cocky, woman. Let me show you what I'm made of. But Fyra simply raised her leg high and shouted, 20 grand, here I come. This scene made irritable man blush, thinking, trying to seduce me? It's useless. With a sharp smack, irritable man was stomped to the ground by Fyra. I don't need to use seduction to deal with you. You're not worth it. One-eyed man also charged over, shouting, bastard, don't get too cocky. What's the big deal about bullying my two younger brothers? I'm an A-class telekinetic. If I go all out, do you really think you can beat me? With just a whoosh sound, one-eyed man was knocked out before he could even react. 30,000 in the bag. She, as the former queen of the elves, every night she needs to read adult books to fall asleep. Even when traveling, she brings a whole bag full of them. At this moment, the Demon Hunter Association office. Fyra just collected the bounty for the wanted criminal. She's planning to take a break after this job. She was immediately drawn to a wanted poster on the wall. Is this a new one? This guy is quite handsome. His bounty is 10 million spirit coins. This handsome guy is actually worth so much. As she spoke, she took a closer look at the bounty notice. Oh, he actually single-handedly took down 3 S-class powerhouses from Pharaoh City. Although those 3 had just entered the S-class, taking on 3 at once is no small feat. If I could take him down, his bounty would let me retire on the spot. I must keep this guy's bounty poster safe. But where is the safest place to keep it? At this, she glanced down at the 2 peaks on her chest. The next second, she tucked it straight into the bottomless chasm. Truly, this place still feels the safest. The supervisor who witnessed the scene exclaimed, so huge, so magnificent. Is this the so-called big breasts but no brains? Meanwhile, on the other side, Zhong Tianshun and his companions were flying through the air aboard the Wandering Long. Baiqing looked speechlessly at Lef. We're accompanying lovely Shun to search for the spiritual treasure, not going on a trip. Why are you bringing so much luggage? This isn't just any ordinary luggage. These are all my treasures, timeless classics. Without them, I wouldn't be able to sleep or eat in peace. Hearing the word treasure, Zhong Tianshun immediately perked up. What kind of treasures? Are they very valuable? Upon hearing this, Lef rummaged through while saying, I don't know if they're valuable, but the content inside is absolutely thrilling. I get excited every time I see it. Hearing this, Baiqing couldn't help but feel a bit excited. What kind of treasure could possibly be so thrilling? Found it. This is my most cherished and also the most thrilling one, she said as she directly took it out. On the cover, several large words were written, The Queen's Domination. She then took out another book titled Sin in the Flower Field and said, This is my must-read before bed. It helps me sleep more soundly and peacefully. I have many more here, such as Innocent Boy, Naughty Girl, The Witch's Allure, The King's Harem Darling, and so on. The sight made Baiqing's nose bleed profusely. Is this whole bag filled with erotic books? But then Lef said, If you think I only have erotic books here, you're being quite shallow. I Lef am not just all talk. Today, I must open your eyes to something extraordinary. This is it. Saying this, I take out a black genuine leather bunny girl outfit. I made this myself based on the descriptions in the book. Zhong Tianshun couldn't help but exclaim, How skillful! I never knew you had such talent. Upon hearing this, Lef replied with a suggestive look, I'm not just skilled with my hands, I'm even more clever in other areas. I'm a treasure all over, just waiting for you to explore. Then Zhong Tianshun made a surprising remark. That piece of clothing uses very little fabric. It seems to suit you well. Why don't you try it on for me? Upon hearing this, Lef couldn't help but blush, her heart racing wildly. Lovely Shun wants to see me in a bunny girl outfit. He must be in love with me, right? At this thought, Lef shyly expressed,